Hey, everybody. How are you? Good morning to you. Hope you're having a good day or you do have a good day. So, I want to sit down and react to Foodie Beauty. You guys know that I've not been reacting to all of her content, and any more is for good reason because Foodie has started doing something new. She has been going on Twitch and sometimes on Kick, and she plays copyrighted music, or her most recent stunt is showing actual nudity on her stream. I don't trust her. As a reactor, I do not trust Foodie. I feel she's in a place where she is actively trying to get reaction channels or archive channels on YouTube in trouble by deliberately doing things on her streams on Kick and Twitch that would get us in trouble if we showed it or if we played it. Last night was a good example. She was playing Unsolved Mysteries again. So if Chantal goes live, I'm not going to be live sniping her. I don't trust that biatch. I don't trust her at all. Uh, I've also been hearing that she's been making comments about people on YouTube. She's very jealous about those who are still monetized. I think it still rubs her the wrong way that she lost her monetization on YouTube, and she's very jealous of anyone who has their monetization. So it's very Chantal coded that she would do things on other platforms trying to get people in trouble who are here on this platform. So what happened the other night? Not last night, but the other night. Well, she was still going on about the security guards and getting in trouble. She was also going on about her family. I also saw on Twitter that she was showing pictures of her biological father, which is interesting because her and her biological dad haven't talked in years. Biological dad also has another family. She's got two half brothers, I understand. And she was kind of doxing biological dad and her other family. So are you lashing out, Chantal, because your family's not talking to you? I don't know. In any case, we've got some Twitter peeps to go over. I've been collecting them, even though I've not been reacting to her streams. I have been collecting stuff on Twitter. So we're going to go over all this stuff on Twitter as well as go over the live stream itself. It is 3 hours long, but you guys know how we do it here. If she gets boring, I'm not even going to bother. I just skip ahead. I'm so okay with the skipping ahead. I really am. So you guys know what time it is. It is time for the Twitter peeps. All right, so we're going to get into the Twitter peeps. I'm all set and ready to go. I got my coffee. Hope you guys have your coffee too, or you've had your coffee already. I'm just trying to catch up to y'all. So for those of you that are on Twitter, that you would like to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. And for those of you not on Twitter, that's why I do the Twitter peeps. So you guys can see what's going on in girl world on Twitter without actually having to go on Twitter. So this first tweet is from Mrs. Floopa Booty saying, for some reason, I'm less convinced that Malaysia is their destination. I'm starting to think more and more that she's throwing us off and they plan to go somewhere else. Well, I'll do you one better, Mrs. Floopa Booty. I don't think she's going anywhere. I think she wants to. I think she really, really wants to travel, but for a myriad of reasons, she's not going to be able to. I have heard that Chantal plans on only buying one seat, which is going to get her in trouble because she needs 2 seats, possibly 3, to not only be comfortable, but for everybody else on the plane to be safe. So if she's trying to be cheap and only buy 1 seat, well, she can easily be declined for her trip if she doesn't buy the second seat. I mean, if you are of a bigger size, you know that you've got to buy enough seats to be comfortable and safe, and for other people to be comfortable and safe. On top of that, it will cost a minimum of between $10,000 to $15,000 for Foodie to travel to Malaysia or anywhere for an entire month. There's the cost of her food, hotel, taxi, possible medical cost, Salah's fee for going somewhere, cost for rent while she's away. I mean, you add all that stuff together and more, that's about 10, 15 grand. Does she have the money? I don't know, but I suspect not. But even if she does have it, she would be a medical risk to get on a plane and go anywhere. She's very, very sick. Anybody looking at her can tell she's not in the best of health. It doesn't make sense to go to another country when you're very, very sick, knowing you probably may not get the best medical care. No shade on anywhere she might be going, but she really needs to stay where she's at. But I don't think she's going anywhere. I think she's just talking about this trip because she wants to go. She thinks that by talking about it is going to make it happen, it's going to manifest it. Do I think that Salah wants to go on this trip? No. I think Salah is smart enough to know that if he goes on a trip with Foodie anywhere, she's going to isolate him, possibly blackmail him or threaten him to take her back to Syria. If she goes on a trip, I don't think she wants to go on a trip and come back to Canada. I think her plan is to leave Canada and not come back. So if she's meeting up with Salah in a certain area, wherever that is, I think the plan is to get him alone, put the, strong shoulder on him and say, hey, you better take me back to Syria or else. I don't think she wants to come back to Canada. I think her plan is to escape Canada because she's made quite the mess for herself in Canada. The Tone Knob says, I think Foodie Beauty knew what she was doing here. Do any of you ever recall her ever saying something nice about her dad? All that I can recall is her saying he was an overeating alcoholic who left them when she was little. She did this on purpose, I think. Yeah, I think she did too. I think she's got daddy issues. I think she's had daddy issues from way back, and she's still very resentful of the fact that her biological father is not in her life. And Foodie likes to get on live stream and she likes to take out her revenge or her anger or her need for vengeance while she's live, knowing that whoever it is she's attacking cannot attack back. But she doxed her own biological father, even though she knows that bio dad has 2 sons and a wife. Like, why involve them in this mess? Why would you bring them up? Like, what do they have to do with anything? Nothing. But this is Foodie just being petty and stupid. Let's watch.
My dad. Sorry, Dad.
No, you're not sorry. You're not sorry to your father, because if you really cared about your bio dad in any way, you wouldn't have done this. You would not have brought him up. You wouldn't have shown his picture. You're doing this on purpose. You're angry at your family for some reason or reasons. This was a spiteful, hateful move, especially considering the fact that your bio dad has 2 children. Yeah, I think you're mad because you're not with your bio dad. I think you're resentful of the fact that he's got 2 sons, that he has an entire family, and you're not a part of it.
Do I look like my dad?
No, you look like your uncle. Everybody has said that. You look like your uncle. You're the spitting image of your uncle. That's why we call you a Funkle baby, because you honestly look like your uncle's child. You look exactly like your uncle. Now, a little word of warning for nobody has seen this clip. Chantal has done some pretty outrageous things in her life. So this was during the crackhead Olympics era, where she did the Nazi salute. Florida Salt and Sass says she's all peace and love and tolerance. Let's watch.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
And look at the look on her face. She knew exactly what she did. She knew that it was controversial. She knew that it was hateful, and she did it anyway. She likes to make people angry. Yeah, she was very proud of herself that day. And she wants everyone to believe that she's a good person. No, she's not racist. She's not hateful. She's not a creep. She's not a predator. But she does things like this. And it's on video, too. Ashley says, I'm starting to think she's actually suffered brain damage from her lifestyle. I just can't fathom anyone being this stupid on purpose. Well, here's an interesting fact. And this is something that I found out not too long ago. Did you guys know that obesity can affect brain function? It's true. Obesity can get in the way of cognitive brain function. And anybody who's been watching Chantal through the years You could put on an older clip of when she first started YouTube and the way she was speaking and the way she was behaving versus now, and there is a marked difference. So I am not a doctor. I am not here to diagnose Chantal, but maybe her severe obesity for so long might have affected her cognitive function, but it definitely has changed over the years. Mo Translate says this week has been crazy. She went from fighting security guards at the mall to wanting to sue YouTube, and it's not even Friday. She knows her rights, people, and credit to Orange Cat. Hey, Orange Cat, let's watch.
Like, I would honestly almost be tempted to put every penny, or like every penny I ever have, save up and like sue them for just.
But you don't have any money. Girl, stop. You're over there, even though you are doing Foodie requests and you've got Foodies backing you up and funding your lifestyle, you're still grifting. So if you're still grifting, that means you don't have much money. You certainly don't have enough money to go after YouTube. I'm sure they've got high-powered attorneys on speed dial. They've got them on retainer, girl. They know their rights. This is all just tough talk from you. You've talked about suing people before and you haven't sued anybody. You're just trying to be Big Bad Mary and it's not working. It looks pathetic. So you want to sue YouTube for what? Because they had policies and you've broken them and there's proof that you've broken the policies. The judge would throw the book at you. And by the way, Chantal, if you have such a disdain for the Western world, then that should also extend to Western world money, shouldn't it? You know, because if you hate the Western world and you don't want Western world money, therefore you shouldn't be suing anybody. That's what I'm thinking.
Discrimination. If I'm not talking about my ED and I like a human being.
Chantal, you are currently on other platforms. You are on Twitch and you're on Kick. And you're not just doing the eating content. You keep bringing up your eating issue while you're over there. And YouTube changed its policies a few years ago. A few years ago. And even when other people started losing their monetization, you did not clean up your channel. You did not start doing new content. You kept on. As a matter of fact, you did a stream with pizza just to test YouTube to see if they were looking at you, and that ended up you getting in trouble with them. But you have plenty of time to clean up your channel and do other content. You did not because you were arrogant. You thought, oh, I'm Foodie Beauty. I'm somebody. Guess you're not. You lost your monetization. And you're not even trying to do different content on your channel as it is to show YouTube that you're willing to do new content to get your monetization back. So why should they give it back? So you're going to sue them for having policies, which they are allowed to do because they are a private company. Private. They are allowed to make whatever policies they want. And those who don't follow the policies can suffer the consequences. You're going to go after a company, a private company, for having policies and you decided not to follow them, which led to the consequences of you losing your monetizations. You're going to sue them because you're a rule breaker.
Human being has to eat.
Human beings do have to eat, but they don't have to eat on camera and they don't have to monetize it. And if they're a food addict, they shouldn't be monetizing their addiction. They shouldn't be showcasing their addiction. They shouldn't be glorifying it. They shouldn't be making it into a joke or triggering other people who might have eating issues on YouTube. You've done all of that and more. So don't use that as a defense. Every human being has to eat. Yes, we do, but we don't have to turn on a camera. That is not a human right.
So they're basically what? Demonetizing Eugenia for not eating and for us for eating. I don't find that fair.
Who cares? Who cares what you find fair? You're not in charge of the company. Who cares if you find it fair? I mean, I could sit here and whine and gripe all day long. I don't think it's fair that as a reactor, that I'm reacting to you. I am not triggering people by coming on camera and showcasing an eating issue and talking about the eating issue. Just me saying a certain word triggers the crap out of YouTube because of you, because of their policies. I have to use stupid code words, which I don't like to do. I'd rather just talk about the issue as it is. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that for many years they allowed you on the platform and they allowed you to monetize your issue and turn your channel into a portal to get in touch with feedies, and you showcasing adult fetish content on its platform. They let you get away with it until they didn't. I mean, we could sit here and go back and forth, girl, about what's fair and what's unfair, but it's a moot point. It's YouTube. They're going to do what they do, and either you can choose to follow the rules or don't. But griping about something being unfair does not make it change into something different.
And even when I did talk about it, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to do mukbangs. Yeah.
And she's still salty about that. You guys know she's still salty. Because for years she had the perfect addiction machine built on YouTube. She built it using YouTube, getting on camera, doing her mukbangs, her overeating, making money with that, attracting the feedie clients, doing the feedie request on camera, on YouTube and off, making money on the side. And the side hustle was actually making her more money than the main hustle. But YouTube was the starting point. It was the portal to get in front of those people and attract them and bring them to her. And then YouTube smashed that machine to pieces with the ban hammer. She is so angry about that her free and easy, lazy lifestyle is over. But she's not stopped what she's doing. She just moved it to a different platform. And now it's Kick's problem if they want to take care of it or not. The Tone Knob says Foodie Beauty feels like YouTube is targeting her because they allow nudity for educational purposes. But a super morbidly obese woman overeating on cam for feedies and other fetishists is not allowed. She will never admit that she's unaliving herself for views and butt pats. Nope, she'll never admit that. But she doesn't have to admit that. I mean, we can look at her and tell that's what's going on here. I hate to say it. It sounds rough, but people watching Foodie, we're watching a snuff film in very slow motion. We're watching her decline. And guess what? She wants us to watch. She wants to monetize her decline. And unfortunately, there are people in her audience that they're more than happy to help her unalive herself. And those are the people that she wants in her audience, that she's doing requests for. She's perfectly okay with being surrounded by people, buddy trolls, deathly buddy trolls that are like, yeah, I'll pay you for a mukbang. Here you go. Knowing of all her health problems and knowing of her issue with food, they still want her to keep going. And girl world, we're supposed to be the haters. But yet we're not the ones feeding the addiction. Other people are. Debbie's World says this 42-year-old monster got thrown out of Kuwait and Syria and demonetized from YouTube for running her big mouth. Then she moves back to Canada and tells a mall cop that he has a tiny penis and to F off. She's a sick person. Wherever you go, there you are. And if you're a troublemaker, trouble follows you. You will always have trouble around you. Wherever she goes, there's chaos. She makes a mess. And then once she makes a big enough mess, she'll run to a new area and make a mess there. It's a pattern. She was in Canada, made a mess for herself. Went to the Middle East, made a mess for herself. Went to Thailand, made a mess for herself. She's problematic everywhere she goes, and yet she's the common denominator. She's the one constant in all. Shugal says, you still don't understand, Foodie. You can eat on stream. If you were a normal person, but you're not a normal person, you are a food addict. Your obsession with food and the manic way you eat is harmful. It's not about your weight. It's about your mental illness. Correct. She tries to use the whataboutisms of what about other mukbangers? They do food eating content. Yeah, but they're not a food addict. They don't have a food addiction. They don't have a issue with food. You do. And they're not catering to the feedies like you are. They're not actively seeking out the feedies like you are. Like you're on a whole different level, Chantal. You're doing fetish content. Other people are doing mukbang content, you are actively doing fetish content, and you're always looking for ways to include other fetishes with the main fetish. You know, like the adult baby stuff, the exhibitionism, the nudity, the flashing, the poo content, talking about poo and messing your pants. I mean, you've done so many different adult fetishes on YouTube, and this is where I got a big problem with you. If you did all this stuff in private, I would have nothing to say. I'd have no reason to have nothing to say. But you're coming onto a platform where people of all ages can watch your content and be exposed to things that they did not ask to be exposed to. They did not give consent to be exposed to, but you're exposing it to people anyway. And I'm sorry, that's wrong. Even people who are in the audience and spectators deserve to know what they're looking at before they watch. Even spectators have the right to consent or not consent and be informed. Fat Kid Cool says, hey, Sarah, Salah, care to confirm or deny these brash claims from your demure Muslim princess? Let's watch.
Saying I'm desperate and that nobody wants me except for money. I'm fucking hot, okay? And I'm good in bed. I'm an expert starfisher. I have a soft fupa.
How exactly does one become an expert starfisher? What is starfishing? It's basically laying in bed and doing nothing. You're a pillow princess, Chantal. You just lay there and do nothing. So you're proud to be a do-nothing, lazy partner. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to lay there like a big lump on a log and do nothing. Yeah, that sounds real exciting. That's something that every husband or partner looks forward to, having a partner that does absolutely nothing while they do everything. Yeah, okay. I can see how that would really endear you to him, you being an expert starfisher. Okay.
And I'm pretty.
No, you're not.
So stop coming for me about that nobody wants to screw me, okay?
You know what, Chantal? If you are as hot as you claim, why aren't there men just beating down your door right now to date you, to take you out to dinner, take you on trips? They'll pay for everything. Why is there not like a waiting list a month in advance for you? Like if you want to be with Chantal, you got to put in a reservation a month ahead of time. If you're so hot and if you're so pretty, why aren't men just flooding your DMs? Why are you still clinging to a man who's thousands of miles away that you're still sending money to? And if you want to go on a trip with him, you got to pay for it. He's not even going halvesies with you. You're paying for it all. I mean, these are not the actions of a woman who's hot and pretty and wanted. This is the actions of somebody who's desperate for attention, desperate for validation, and desperate to prove girl world wrong. That's what this whole trip is about, isn't it? You're in competition with girl world. It's like me against them. You're desperate to prove us wrong, and you will pay any price and do anything just to say, I'm right. I'm right. He does love me. I'm going on a trip with him. He ain't going on a trip with you. He's not. He's not going anywhere with you. And you know it, and we know it too. He's done with you. He was done with you when you left Syria. He's happier now. And if you had a lick of sense, you'd let him be happy in his new life, and you would carry on with your life instead of trying to desperately hang on to a man that wants nothing to do with you except for your wallet. You say he thinks I'm pretty. The only attractive thing about you for him is your wallet and what's in there. He likes your debit card. He likes your bank account. Ooh, those are real pretty to him. He'd give wolf whistles to your bank account, but not to you. Because if he liked you as a person, he would have made a phone call a while ago saying, come on over, I miss you. But notice he ain't doing that. And you're so desperate to get him alone, you're willing to pay lots of money to meet up with him somewhere. Well, good luck with that. He sees right through you. He knows what you're up to. He knows you're up to no good. He knows this trip is a dirty offer, and I'm sure he's not going to take it. And at some point, you're going to have to confess to the audience that it was all a fallacy. Or maybe you won't. Maybe when it comes time to leave, you'll say, oh, I had a medical emergency, to cover up the fact that you lied. You've been lying. Excuse me. Nothing But Love says, listen real close, because apparently you don't seem to understand. YouTube doesn't care if you eat on stream or on videos. They just won't pay you for it, you entitled person. Nope, they're not going to pay you for it. As long as you continue to talk about your eating issue at the same time, nope, they're not going to monetize that content. And you're already on the radar anyway, Foodie. You got to know that you're on the radar. If they took your monetization because of you, breaking the rules, that you're under the microscope from now on. And as long as you're on YouTube and you are offensive and you're breaking rules, you got to know that people are going to be reporting you to YouTube. So if you come back on YouTube and got your monetization, you start doing the same nonsense, you'll lose the monetization all over again, and then have to wait all over again to get the monetization back. Miss Morris Reed says, so apparently in Malaysia, it's illegal to work while there on a visitor's visa. It would be a shame if they find out Foodie Beauty was planning on making vlogs there. Yeah, it would be a shame, wouldn't it? It'd be an awful shame if they found out. Fat Cow says the apology to the security guards didn't happen. They would never have said, you're just doing your job, or you too, to being told that. They don't know she has a channel. They don't care who she is. They didn't know she was working. Absolute crap. Yep. I don't think she apologized to the guards. That's not something that Foodie would do, especially to someone's face. She wouldn't go all the way there just to apologize. And we've seen the way she apologizes. She'll say, I'm sorry, and then take it back. She's never sorry for what she says or what she does. Lori on Twitter gives us the recap from what happened last night. Lori says, Foodie Beauty, I talked to the guards. Recap. 3 hours, 12 minutes. She allegedly allowed back in the mall, got learned about filming on private property. Blood sugar went from 14 to 8, talking about the Malaysia trip, babbling about eating muscle meat and being vegetarian. Good luck with that. Getting controversial in chat regarding Asian countries' food sourcing practices and choosing partners based on geography and skin color. Why does she have to say things like that? She's so awful. Complaining about being deplatformed while haters still have monetized channels. You see, there you go. Last night, still complaining about reaction channels, still complaining about Girl World, still complaining about the fact that we're monetized and she isn't. Still salty about that. And that is why, Girl World, I say, that's why she's been doing some of the things that she's been doing on her live streams, showing of the nudity, showing copyrighted material. She's doing this crap on purpose, and that's why I don't trust her. I don't trust her right now. Like, I think she's doing things to get people in trouble. Kalea says, what could happen if she's caught streaming or vlogging for work? ChatGPT says, in Malaysia, if a person on a visitor social visit visa is caught live streaming or vlogging as work, immigration treats it as a visa violation. The response depends on visibility, monetization, and whether a complaint or tip-off occurs. Typical enforcement outcomes escalating by severity. First, questioning and investigation. Immigration officers may detain the person briefly, inspect devices, review YouTube, TikTok pages, check monetization, sponsorships, live stream donations, posting schedules, and length of stay. They often ask whether income is earned and where it is paid. Second, visa cancellation and removal. The most common result is immediate cancellation of the visitor visa and deportation. This can happen even if the income is paid outside Malaysia. The law focuses on the activity, not where money lands. Third, fines and detention. Under the Immigration Act 1959-63, penalties can include fines, detention in an immigration depot, and processing delays before removal. Detention can last days to weeks. Fourth, blacklisting re-entry ban. Many cases include a ban from re-entering Malaysia, commonly 5 to 10 years, sometimes indefinite for repeat or high-profile cases. Fifth, equipment seizure. Less common but possible. Phones, cameras, or laptops may be held as evidence during investigation. Factors that increase the risk substantially: monetized channels, ads, super chats, gifts, Patreon sponsors, scheduled or frequent uploads, live streaming, especially donations, branding, merch promotion, affiliate links. Complaints from public, hotels, malls, or other creators, large followings or media attention. Lower, but not zero, risk situations. Purely personal, non-monetized travel videos, no live streams, no ads, no sponsors, short stay with minimal posting. Important point: saying it's just a hobby does not protect someone if monetization exists or intent to earn can be shown. If you want, you can describe a specific scenario, live streams with donations, pre-recorded, and they cut it off there. But let's go back to this part. This part right here. Okay, where is it? So let's go back to equipment seizure. What does she film with? Her phones. They can seize her phones. They can take her phones. Foodie, do you have the money to rebuy your phones if you lose them, if they take them? And what about that laptop? You know, the same laptop that you're using to make the Foodie content. I mean, that is how you make your income. If all of that stuff is taken, how are you going to make money? And if you can't make money, you're going to get stuck. How are you going to live stream if you don't have your phones or your laptop? They can take it all. Now, I know you're not worried about being blacklisted or banned or deported. I think you should be worried about them taking your equipment or being held in a depot center for weeks, because while you're there, you can't live stream there. Hope you know that. Peacemaker says, when's it going to sink in? Kicked out of mom and dad's house, kicked out of BB's, Nads kicked you to the curb, kicked out of Kuwait, can't stay at mom's anymore, not with auntie anymore either, kicked from Syria, and 4 establishments in 2 days. Yeah. Nobody wants Foodie around. She makes it to where nobody wants her around, and wherever she goes, she gets kicked out. Frosty Toes says, Malaysia does not have an embassy or consulate in Syria needed to obtain a visa. So how is Salah going there? Foodie Beauty, Chantal is paying for everything. If you do light research, Turkey is the easiest destination for Salah to visit, as it only requires an e-visa. Choose where to apply. Since there's no Malaysian embassy in Syria, Syrians must apply via a Malaysian embassy or consulate in a neighboring country. So he'd have to apply in a neighboring country. He could not apply in Malaysia. So is he applying to another country like Turkey? And here's the moment in question where she showed actual nudity. And thank goodness this was blurred out. Queen of Sweden says she effed up, guys. We can already now say bye-bye to her Kick account because the flood is flooding with reports of her TOS violation. And she's deleting the video. That's not allowed either. Yeah, she showed absolute nudity on Kick. She was showing a woman's private parts. I'm glad they blurred that out. But again, I think she's trying to get people on YouTube in trouble because she knows that people live stream her, restream her. She's trying to get other people in trouble. And that's why I'm not going to snipe her. No, I'm not putting my channel at risk. Ron says, someone please educate her on private and public. YouTube is a private company. You can eat on YouTube. They just won't pay you. No, they're not going to pay you to monetize your eating issue. Sorry. You can keep that on Kick over there. Enigma 2025 says her family wants nothing to do with her, and her own mother doesn't want to be part of her YouTube or Kick life. I don't know why she insists on being this defiant, still against their wishes, knowing her following will harass them by sending videos of her. I think she likes to cause pain to her own family. I think she's angry at her family for some reason. I don't know what the reason is, but she's lashing out at her own family for no random reason. Like, she likes to hurt people. When she doesn't get her way, she likes to hurt people. Hurt people hurt other people, and she does love to hurt people. Ron says she needs oxygen. This is just her sitting. Crochet with Ashmi says, LOA, she thought she stopped the stream. Breathing sounds great, cutie. Let's watch.
I don't. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, that breathing sounds real bad. It sounds like she can't even take a breath. If she wants to get on an airplane, which could be risky, very risky if she's had a history of embolisms in her lungs. She wants to get on an airplane like this. Like, when she's in her apartment, all she does is seal. So how in the world is she going to make a long trip to Malaysia? Like, she's not even going anyway. She's an idiot. If she goes anywhere, she's an idiot. If she leaves Canada, she's an idiot. She should be on oxygen. But if she doesn't want to get it, if she wants to put herself at risk for passing away, I guess that's what she wants to do. You know, she is determined to prove girl world wrong. See, I am really married. See, I'm going to Malaysia and I'm going to marry Salah. That's what you think. But Chantal, Spirit told me something yesterday that's very interesting for you. Your wants are not your achievements. When you get something you want, it is not a true achievement. And you seem to be under this impression that just because you want something and you get it, that feels like an achievement. But guess what? It's not an achievement. Because you want bad things. You want things that are not meant for you, that are not good for you. So if you get something you want and it's not good for you, you're not really achieving anything. You're in this ridiculous fight with girl world. You're like, it's me against them. I want to prove them wrong. I'll do anything to prove them wrong. Even if I harm myself, it doesn't matter. I want to win. You desperately want to win something. You want to win over the community. You will never win over the community, no matter what you do. You work overtime to cover up your lies and your deception, although we see right through you. So flying to another country to be with a man who does not love you, does not want to be with you, trying to force him into a trip, you're not getting what you think you are. You're just being an idiot, and you know you're being an idiot. Talking about it, wanting to do it, putting money towards it. You're stupid. You're just showing how stupid you are, how delusional you are. But no one can stop you from these things, so you go ahead. Yeah, she ain't going nowhere. I would not be surprised at all if she did try and they denied her entry on the plane for medical reasons. I wouldn't be surprised if they said no. I would not be surprised if she got denied, if she tried to get on a plane. It would be in her best interest to not get on and for them to deny her. Bad Seed says, Foodie Beauty, the only reason she apologized to the security guards is so she can go to the food court and store for its feedings. Yep. She was worried about being denied her food. That's why she made that apology, although it's stupid because she posted the apology on YouTube where they're not going to see the apology. Why post it on YouTube? Oh, new drinking game from Dwight's hazmat suit. Foodie Beauty, the drinking game. Draw a card and take a shot. First player to pass out or barf loses. Draw a card, watch Foodie Beauty take a shot every time she says your phrase. Well, a lot of people would be getting drunk and getting sick off that game. So I'm not going to play it. No thanks. I don't drink anyway. Oh, silly, it's Lily says she's beyond help at this point. From someone who's had issues at the Malaysian border getting off a flight for a work trip with clean slate and every box ticked. I was questioned on dual citizenship and living abroad for work, but forgot to disclose it on a digital form. Good luck, cute, because leaving Kuwait the way you did is just one thing, and your smug butt had people reporting it left and center. And not like messy rant reporting. No, girl, it's concise, well written, and sent through the correct channels because that's how much you provoke people. I'm not about touching the poo, but you simply ask for it, and not just from your husband. Stupid, stupid, stupid. And for those who are wondering, what will she be wearing for her handsomest husband in Malaysia? Here's the outfit. Fondue Spiteful Beach says, Foodie Beach, she came online tonight to be cool, popular girl, and gossip about her sexy trip upcoming. This is what she bought to wear from him. Well, it's nice. I don't think it's going to turn him on, though. But I got questions. Here are my questions. Chantal, is this trip for you and Salah? Or is it for your feedies? Because more and more it sounds like it's a work trip. You're going over there to do fetish content. You're talking about getting your hair done, your nails done. You're wearing sexy lingerie. This feels like sexy fun time content for somebody. So is it a why you want him there? Because it's a work trip for a specific feedie or feedies? I wonder. I really do. Okay, palate cleanser from Fascinating. Rangers discovered a 1-year-old hippo whom they've named Owen, alone and dehydrated near Kenya's Indian Ocean coast after he became separated from his herd in 2004. They took him to a wildlife sanctuary in Mombasa, where he soon found a male tortoise with the same dark gray coloring as an adult hippo. The tortoise initially hissed at Owen, warning him to stay away, but according to park officials, the pair has since become inseparable. The Alabran tortoise named Mizi, or Old Man in Swali, now eats and sleeps beside Owen. Rangers say they could not have placed Owen with another herd of hippos, as he would have been killed by an adult male. The park's tourism manager, Pauline Komoto, told reporters, since Owen arrived in 27 December, the tortoise behaves like a mother to him. The hippo follows the tortoise around and licks his face. Aww. Y'all look. That's something you never see every day. A tortoise and a hippo being best buddies. They got some good friends. I'm glad the hippo found a friend. Shenanigan says Chantal uses Olive's forgiveness as a get out of jail free card so she doesn't have to actually take the accountability for her disgusting, hurtful behavior towards others. She hates her religion when it holds her accountable, but uses it as a shield weapon when it suits her. Agreed. Well said. It's just a tool for her. It's nothing she holds in high regard or she respects. She hates it when people hold her accountable for it, but then uses it as a shield or a weapon when it suits her. Okay, let's see what else we got here. And here's something for me. I'm nice as F. So if you see me being mean to someone, they earn that. True. I'm not a mean person, but don't push me. If I'm mean to somebody, they earned it. Oh, they earned it. They really. Oh. And look, we got some puffer fish. A smile for your timeline. There you go. Here's something to make you happy. A puffer fish smiling at you this morning. Say, good morning. How are you? And here's an interesting comment from Oscar Wilde, courtesy of George Wilson. People are like books. Some deceive you with their cover and others surprise you with their content. Okay, what else do we have here? All right, I think we're done with the Twitter peeps and catching all the way up. So we're going to go on to the live stream. And like I told you guys, like I'm completely okay with skipping ahead. And we're probably going to do that a lot. So don't yell at me if I do. We're going to shorten this down by a lot. And this is courtesy of Orange Cat. For those of you that don't know about Kiwi Kitten Orange Cat, y'all look down below in the description right there. Do you see it? You see it? There's the link for the original video, which leads back to Orange Cat, Kiwi Kitten, to all of her wonderful content. I strongly recommend subbing up to her, giving her a like, leaving her a comment. I'm often over there in Orange Cat's chat just talking to people, so you might catch me there a lot. So, hey, let's get on with this reaction and see what Foodie has to say today.
Thank you, Chi-Town. Is it tied to the ground? Well, Mango, yeah, I'm not going to live stream in the malls. That's it. I'm totally fine with doing my thing elsewhere for content. That's all. Whatever. Yeah. Thanks, Caitlin. Hey, Sparkling Bottoms. Everyone has a bad day. There's so many other places to film. Like, we could go totally, like, the weather's going to be nicer very soon. It's almost the end of February.
Yeah, you know what? I will die on this hill, chat. Chantal's talking about that she wants to be going on her trip next month. I'm given the impression by the things she's saying and the things she's doing, she wants to leave a lot sooner. We know Chantal. She often lies about the timeline of when she's leaving somewhere. She does that on purpose so nobody will know when she's leaving. She might be saying, I'm leaving around my birthday, which is the 28th of March. I think she wants to get out before the end of the month. I don't think she wants to be in that apartment and pay one more month's worth of rent. I mean, does it make sense? She wants to get out real soon. Real soon. All this talk about talking about Pete's, and he's going to come cat sit, and she's got to buy food when she doesn't have to worry about the food right now. I mean, it's all lining up that way.
You know? Yeah. Well, I wanted to apologize because I genuinely felt bad, like, calling them names. Like, I don't feel good acting like that. Like, I don't do it for drama. I don't do it for views. I do it just because.
Lies. You were acting all the way up. You knew that it would bring in more views. You knew that it would bring in more viewers. You had a bunch of subscribers that day. You looked at it as a win. To pop off like that, to act inappropriately, yes, you did. And it follows a pattern. Anybody who's been part of Girl World knows what I'm talking about. The pattern of at the end of the month or near the end of the month, she always does the most, doesn't she? She's got that end of the month push. Although it really doesn't make sense for Kick because she's not on YouTube. She's doing this on Kick, but still, she's looking for that last little bit of end of the month money.
Because, like, I get triggered, and, like, that's something I have to work on. Like, you know, especially during Ramadan, especially during fasting hours.
And you know what, Chantal? Other people have pointed this out too. You always do something nasty or act up during Ramadan. I don't know why you do it, but you do it. You just get extra offensive during Ramadan. And you've been working on yourself for years. Like, oh, I've got to work on this. I've got to work on this. And you're still acting this way.
Yeah. It wasn't a capital crime, the reactors. They just blow everything right out of proportion.
No, we don't.
You know, always.
No, we don't.
That's what they have to do. Yeah. Well, I do feel bad. I have a guilty conscience, and
No, you don't. You don't have a guilty conscience. You popped off, you ran your mouth, and you got worried. I'm sure you went on Twitter and you saw how people were posting the address, the phone number, and the email of the mall that you went to. I'm sure that got you real worried. And it probably especially got you worried when you found that potentially the people who own the mall also own the Cineplex and might potentially own the apartment building that you're in. So they might be able to trace you and find out where you are. And if you've broken laws and regulations about filming on private property, there'd be consequences. So you decided to apologize to get out of trouble. That's why you did it. You were worried about the consequences. It wasn't about, I did wrong. I spoke wrong. I popped off when I should have just left quietly. You're trying to skate away from the consequences of your actions.
Michael Jackson tribute. Wow. Oh, you won it. That's cool, Breezy. That's so cool. I hope it makes you laugh a bit. I always find tributes are kind of funny sometimes, especially Michael Jackson and Elvis ones. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Chocolate.
And Miss Lori GA in Kitten's chat said, but you spoke with your whole chest that you were going to make sure to film everywhere else and capture kids as well. Yeah, you said that. I heard you. I reacted to it. I showed it on my channel. Other people showed it on their channels. You said, I'm going to film kids if I want to. And you know what, Chantal, when you say things like that, people are going to treat you like a Pokemon and hunt you down wherever you go. Not because they want to touch the poo, not because they want to involve themselves, but because you are saying, I am willingly going to put children at risk. I'm going to put them on live stream. I'm going to show their faces. And I've got perverts and weirdos and creeps and PDF files in my audience. And I'm going to expose children to them for whatever purpose. And people are simply not going to allow that. They're not going to stand for that. When you make comments like that, when you say things like that with your whole chest, other people are going to react, not just with anger, but with phone calls and emails and reaching out to places to let them know what you're doing. Again, not to poo touch, not to cow tip, but to protect innocent lives that you might be endangering.
Hey, Lollipop. We can't have you getting detained. Pretty mosques are gardens. Well, we can look at the outside of a mosque, but I wouldn't probably go inside with the camera. Gardens, yes, there's a lot of gardens. There's a lot of outdoor things to do when it's nice. Hey, Star Twinkle. Right, Shudster. Silly Billy, yes. I drove by there, said hello. Yeah. Hey, Chantal fan. Shore Bus fan. Deli potatoes. Well, I did pick some up for my iftar. And I found a halal chicken, Shudster. You were right. Hey, YouTube lover. Yeah, basically there's a lot of places that have a no filming policy. And the thing is like, I don't mind, like, some places do allow, like, they won't say anything. Like, you're allowed to try if they tell you not to, and you should respect it. But if there's no sign, you know, you could just, like, I don't know, like a store or a restaurant, if you're doing a review or something like that. I don't see the problem, as long as you're being respectful about it. Hey, Short Bus.
But you're not respectful. When you go into a place, you don't keep your camera just on your face. You make a point to turn the camera around at other people. You don't care who's there. Every place is your recording studio. And you're a lazy content creator. You're a lazy streamer. You don't want to do anything. You figure if you just go out and put your camera on other people in a new location, that's just lazy content. It is. You're expecting the environment and the ambiance to do the selling for you. You can't put people on camera, Chantal.
Hey, Neil. Yes, I found a halal chicken. It didn't really look as good as seasoned as the other ones. I think they're being, phobic about that. No, I'm just joking. Imagine accusing someone of Islamophobia. You're not seasoning the halal chickens with enough barbecue seasoning.
Is there anything stopping you as a person that if you get a chicken and it's not seasoned the way you want to, you can't add seasoning? Just sprinkle some seasoning on there, some Mrs. Dash or something lazy.
Hey, Beezy, like Sunday morning. A few beezers may not be able to get out and really enjoy your mall streams. Yeah. Refresh YouTube over. Bring your own seasoning.
And I'm just going to say it. Chantal does not like leaving the house. She would much prefer to sit on her couch and eat all day in the privacy of her own home. If she's going out, there's a reason. And the reason is because she's got feedies in the background that are saying, hey, if you go to such and such location and eat such and such food, we'll buy the food and we'll give you money. Her purpose of going out isn't to make things interesting for her viewers, is to make money on her other phone with her other clients that are saying, hey, I'll give you X amount of money if you go film in this location. She doesn't like leaving the house. She doesn't like being seen by people. She doesn't like real life confrontations. So if she goes out, the reason is monetary, not because she wants to get out of the house.
Yeah, I know, Neil. You're going to miss going to Dollarama? Well, what can you do, eh? So, you got seasoning on your bed. Not anymore. No, it's not about Salah. Salah. Salah, Sonny. It's, I mixed his name with halal. It's just for me, like, being a Muslim, I try to eat halal, but sometimes I don't really try as hard. Like, as long as it's not pork, I'll just say whatever, like McDonald's.
And for anybody who might be thinking, the reason why she, took the bass out of her voice and she's not talking the way she was talking a few days ago for days on end, it's not because Salah got onto her. He don't care what she does. He would not care if she got in trouble in public. It has nothing to do with him. It doesn't fall back on him. This has to do with the fact that she's a food addict and she's A, worried about being cut off from the sources of her fast food, and B, she's worried about the consequences of her actions falling on her, and she ends up in legal trouble. Ramadan is still currently going on. He is spending time with family and friends doing Ramadan activities. He doesn't have the time nor the energy to devote to talking to her. He's not speaking to her. So if she's trying to act like he cares about her, he's not. He's doing Ramadan stuff, which can last from before sunrise to after sunset. He doesn't have the time for Foodie. He doesn't. This is not a Salah thing. This is I'm a food addict and I'm getting myself in trouble with my addiction thing.
Or whatever. Now they have a McHalal. I've never tried it, but I just got a small scallop potatoes. I got a halal chicken. I think I have.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And as long as you continue to talk about food on your streams, you're just showing me and everybody else that you are not over your food addiction. You're not even close, because as a food addict, your mind is focused 24/7 on your addiction. And some of the people in your chat, they're keeping you focused. You're hyper fixated on it all the time. You're doing this live stream. You could talk about anything. You could keep your thoughts off of food. You're not doing that. You are not distracting yourself. You're already thinking about food, talking about food, and you're not getting it. That you are an extreme food addict And food is your fixation, it is your obsession, it is your addiction. But the people that you're talking to, it is not their fixation, it is not their obsession, it is not their addiction. So what is interesting to you is not interesting to other people. But you want people to be fixated on it. You want people to be invested in it. You want people to give you money for it because you want them to support and fund and enable your addiction. And anybody who gave a crap about you, they wouldn't be on board with that. But unfortunately, there are people that are on board with that because that's their fetish. And those are the people that you're looking for. You're not looking for a regular channel audience. You're looking for a fetish audience that will fund and enable and praise your addiction versus walk away from it.
Some frozen veggies. I'll just make that for, I'm very excited about my trip.
Yeah, she's going on a trip, y'all, in here. That's the only place it's happening is in here. Chantal made an interesting comment. She said, I have to trick my brain to get things done. So maybe this is part of it. She's tricking her brain into thinking there's a trip that's actually going to happen. You know, maybe it's making her happy right now. Maybe it's making her excited to where she can work. Because if she did not try to fool herself with this, there's going to be a trip and that's the reason why I'm making all this money. If the reality set in, I'm not going on a trip. You know what Chantal will probably be doing? Nothing. Not working, not making money, getting further into debt, getting herself into legal trouble. So she's got to tell herself this great big lie of I'm going on a trip, it's going to happen, in order to motivate herself to make money to get things done.
Yeah. Yes, he knows about it. He watched the whole thing. He was in here the other day saying that. Hey, Glitter Queen.
Wait, what? Say that again? What'd you say?
Halal. It's just for me, like, being a Muslim, I try to eat halal, but sometimes I don't really try as hard. Like if
Caitlin Bree in her chat says, was Salah mad about the confrontation?
Because it's not pork, I'll just say whatever, like McDonald's or whatever. Now they have a McHalal. I've never tried it, but I just got a small scallop potatoes. I got a halal chicken. I think I have some frozen veggies. I'll just make that for, I'm very excited about my trip. Yeah. Yes, he knows about it. He watched the whole thing. He was in here the other day saying that.
He was in here the other day and he watched the whole thing. Now I know she's lying. Because how is Salah over in Syria celebrating Ramadan with family and friends? Family and friends are around him. And while that's going on, he's able to sit in her chat room and watch the confrontation all day, despite the fact that Ramadan starts before sunrise and doesn't end until after sunset. And then after sunset, everybody gathers together and they eat together. But he was in her room the whole day. You are a liar, ma'am.
Hey, Glitter Queen. No, I talked to them directly, Kingston.
No, you didn't. You didn't do that. You didn't say, I'm sorry. You don't say you're sorry to anybody.
You're full of Taco Bell? Hey, Chef Bondu. Yeah, I know you guys like cooking streams and stuff. Hey, Island Dragonfly. Was he laughing? No. He didn't find it funny. Hey,
she's acting like he cares what she does in Canada. He doesn't care. He knows that there's no chance of him getting into Canada. She can't sponsor him. She's got bankruptcies on her record. She can't prove an income where she's making enough to support him and her. So whatever dream he had about getting to Canada, that's long gone. He's in Syria and he's going to stay in Syria, and he knows that. But she's acting like he's still watching me and he still cares. No, he doesn't. It's time to get off Delulu Island, Chantal. You've been there too long. Get out of this mirage that you're living in.
Healthy Beezer. Actually, I checked my blood solstice after that meal, about 2 hours after, and it skyrocketed to 14 from 8.5.
8.5 is still not good, and 14.5 is even worse.
I don't know if it's the date. It's probably the dates and the rice. 6 potatoes. Thank you. 6 potatoes.
And another thing, they say one addict cannot lie to another. If you've been there and you know, you know. She's trying to act like she's eating healthy, that she's not indulging in the fast food. Let me tell y'all something. This woman is an extreme food addict. If she's been eating so healthy, if she's doing so good, why does she look so puffy? She is swollen. She looks very puffy these days. If she were eating healthy, she'd be losing weight like crazy. And you could tell her face would look smaller. You'd see more of her cheekbones and all that. But she's getting bigger, not smaller. On top of that, with her being an extreme food addict, if she were going without the fast food, she would be hangry. She'd be melting down. If she's calm, cool, collected, she ate something before this live stream started. I promise you. She wouldn't come on live stream hungry. She knows that would be a mistake.
Philly cheesesteak burger. We don't have that here. In hundreds? I don't know. I don't know. Donate how? Like through gifts? If you want to send gifts, there's a little store button beside the chat box.
Oh, there we go with the grift. If you want to send something, look in the chat. You're still grifting. And yet you're talking about suing YouTube. I hope people don't send you anything. You don't need anything.
Or you can give subs.
Let me tell y'all, the last thing that anybody should be doing is giving money to an addict in any form, because you know exactly where the money's going. It's not going for rent. It's not going for food. It's not for an essential. It's for their addiction. Always the addiction comes first.
Yeah, this morning it was back down, but I took my insulin and, yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff that got you in trouble with YouTube, Chantal. You weren't just a normal mukbanger getting on camera, eating the food, you eat the food, that's it, video or live stream is over. You mix in health issues, your food issues with the food content. That is the part that YouTube had the most problem with. That you were doing mukbangs and overeating, but you were also talking about having an eating problem, which is against their policy. So you lost your monetization on YouTube, and then you went to Kick and Twitch and doing the exact same thing. That's the part that gets you in trouble.
The two, I don't know, Valentina. I don't mind the old way. Cocoa Pickles, really?
And I want to address this person's comment in her chat. Glitter Queen says, you are monitoring it properly and taking insulin. Great diabetes management, Chantal. Glitter Queen, let me correct you. She's not monitoring or managing her diabetes. What she's doing is monitoring and managing her food issue. It's unfortunate, but it's true. She's monitoring and managing her food issue. She takes her insulin, she takes the metformin so she can have more B moments and not end up in a diabetic coma. And that's facts. That is absolute facts. She doesn't care about her diabetes. She doesn't care about her blood sugar. She cares about jacking up her blood sugar to the point where she nearly goes into a diabetic coma. But before that happens, let's take some insulin. Let's take some metformin. She's on the max doses of metformin. But again, not for her diabetes, for her food issue. So she can keep on keeping on doing the request for the feedies and not end up in a hospital or a casket.
Yeah, and so for the vacation,
Like she's misusing her diabetic medication and insulin, completely abusing and misusing it.
like when we're on vacation, I got to come up with a schedule for that, like for content. I don't know, because we got to balance like having our time, like just us enjoying it, versus live streaming and versus vlogging. Because
Chantal, remember the last time you tried to do vlogging couple content with Salah in another country? Remember how things were in Thailand? He had to basically kick you and pull you screaming out of the room to do anything. And wherever you went, it was always an issue. He had to promise you food wherever you went just so you do anything, to go anywhere, because you didn't want to be out in public. You didn't want to walk. You didn't want to see anything. You sat in the room most of the time and you had him constantly going to the 7-Eleven for food. And you were filming inside the 7-Eleven to the point where they told you, you can't do that anymore. Do you really think he wants to sit in a room with you for a month and listen to your complaints and your demands and your requests for food? And you overeating to the point where you mess your pants over and over? Do you think he wants to clean that up? Do you think he wants to sit in a room with you for a month and argue with you? It doesn't exactly sound like a fun vacation. And as far as you guys spending time together, all you do is fight, because he wants to get out and do things and you don't. You just want him to act as a servant, to be there for you, to get your food. And you want to hold it over his head. I paid for this trip. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. If he went to Malaysia with you, he wouldn't see much of it. He wouldn't be able to go anywhere. He'd just be waiting on the next food request. So yeah, I have doubts about him going on this trip with you, because he knows what he's in for. He's been through it before.
I'm gonna bring the GoPro, and yeah, I'm gonna bring the GoPro. So,
oh, by the way, Beezers, since you guys are sending Chantal money, why don't you send her $100 so she can send it to Goose Chuck, because she still owes Goose Chuck $100. I'm just saying.
I want to do some vlogging for the couple's channel if we get them back, and then live stream. I'm not sure. We'll probably just stick to live streaming in like major tourist areas where you're allowed to film and vlog and stuff like that. And then, or maybe from places where, more like unidentifiable places, like maybe just in the hotel, but like.
And another thing, here's something else about her trip to Malaysia. Malaysia has very, very strict rug policies. No rugs, Chantal. And while you've been in Canada, you've been indulging, and we know it. I don't know what you've been indulging in, but that's another thing that's going to make you a nightmare. Because if you've been in Canada and you've been indulging in, let's just say, certain vices, party favors, and then you got to go to Malaysia, take a long trip to Malaysia and you get there and you can't find any of your vices and you start going through withdrawals, ooh, you are going to be a literal nightmare. You're going to be an addict fiending for something, anything, and you're going to be grumpy. You're going to be bitchy. You're going to be mean. You're going to be nasty. And he's got to put up with that for a month? Mm-mm.
With just a wall background or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Hello, Sophie. Monkey live stream. Yeah. Yeah, that's outdoors. Yeah.
Mrs. B in Orange Cat's chat says, Salah hates her guts. True, Mrs. B. She's thinking romantic holiday and lots of sex. That's not going to happen. No, definitely not going to happen. I don't care if she buys lingerie that costs her thousands of dollars. I don't care if she consults Victoria's Secret models for tips. Ain't nothing going to happen. Unless she gets over to Malaysia and she basically pressures Salah to do something with her, which I think would be kind of gross. Hey, you better do something with me or else. Like, that's just gross to force yourself on another person that way. Gross, Chantal. But no, they're not going to have lots of sex. Definitely not. Nope.
No, yeah, I won't tell you. I won't tell you the hotel. Like, if people figure it out, whatever. You know? But no, I won't go out of my way to film one day and upload the next. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
And you know what I think? I think all this talk about traveling, I'm going to travel, I'm going to travel. To me, it feels like a hidden, invisible grift. Talking about this trip, oh, the things I'm going to do and the places I'm going to go. It kind of feels like an invisible grift, doesn't it? Like, I'm going to go on this trip and we're going to go here and we're going to do this and that and the other thing. It feels like a silent grift to me. Like she's purposely talking about this grift that it'll happen in a month, hoping that maybe whatever beezers that are in her audience that don't know better, they'll be so excited over the prospect of her going on a trip with Salah that they'll just send money ahead of time. My advice is if somebody like her is in front of you saying, I'm going to go on a trip, and if you want to give money for the trip, which nobody should give her money for the trip, they really shouldn't. But if they do, I wouldn't be giving any money until the person actually gets there and starts doing things, showing that they're doing things, not like a month ahead of time. That's just stupid.
No shocking news.
Like she'll eat through that money before she uses it for a trip.
Yeah, we're getting there the same time. I don't know. I feel like I'm too haram for Muslim communities. So I just don't even want to bother. Hey, short bus. Thank you for the skull emoji.
And another thing, Chantal's got her Cameo set up where she gets paid $30 for a regular video and $250 for a business video. Yeah, I can pretty much tell what business we're talking about here with the $250, but something to think about. If she's charging $250 minimum for a business video, and she's got a whole slurry of just clients, Foodie clients, if she's charging $250 for a business video and she's got requests coming in, she don't need nobody's money. I mean, 8 requests, she's got her rent paid. And whatever she makes on top of that, she makes on top of that. She don't need anybody's money. She doesn't need gifts. She doesn't need anything. She can pay for her doggone self.
I'm a very popular lady. Yeah, if you see me in public and you want an autograph, yeah. I don't see why not. Yeah, I mean, inshallah, Sonny. God willing. Don't go to jail. No, I don't plan on it.
You don't plan on it, but it might happen. Because you're not even researching Malaysia and what is proper to do and what is improper, what will get you in trouble, what won't get you in trouble. When you go to another country, you don't do your due diligence to learn about the place in which you're going to go, the customs, the manners, the things that are rude or might land you in jail. And I love that for you. I love the fact that you don't do your research. I feel bad for whatever country you're going to, putting up with your rudeness, but if it gets you in trouble, go ahead.
Let Salah decide what color to do your nails. That's a good idea, Alien.
And I like this comment from Mrs. B. Mrs. B coming through with the comment. Mrs. B says, Foodie, if Salah really loved you, you would be with him right now. Nothing stops true love, not even family. True words. If one person wants to be with another, nothing and no one is going to stop them. That person who loves you will cross an ocean. He will build a highway. He'll take a plane ride. He'll do whatever it is he needs to do to be with you. Nothing and no one is going to stop him. But notice he's not making a move, Chantal. That should tell you everything you need to know. Instead, according to you, he's saying, come to me. You get a place in Malaysia and maybe I might visit. Not live, visit. But you got to pay for it. It's got to come out of your pocket. I'm not even going half with you. You set it all up. You do it, and then maybe I might come visit you. All the love that you say he has for you, and yet he's saying you do it all. That doesn't sound like real love for me.
He'll probably tell me not to get them done. I signed my illustrations, yes. Yeah.
And I think there's a definite reason why Foodie wants to escape to another country, any country besides where she's at, because she's in Canada. And it's easier for people to report her and to find her where she is while she's over here versus somewhere else. She tends to get herself in trouble in Canada. And if she's at a business like a mall and she's filming, or she's at a restaurant and she's filming and she shouldn't be, people can call, people can report her. It interferes in what she's doing. That's why she hates being in Canada, because she can be reported. People can find her a lot faster when she's in the Middle East, or when she's in Malaysia, or when she's in Thailand. It's harder for people to get in touch with anybody. She wants to run somewhere where people don't know where she is and can't report her.
No. I'm going to get them done just for that month.
But why? If Salah is going with you and he's a Muslim man, painted nails are considered a no-no, because you can't do your wudu with painted nails. So why would he, a Muslim man, want you to have painted nails unless you were getting the painted nails for other people, like your Foodie clients who want to see your nails done?
They're not like, I maybe I could get those actually. Yeah, the ring nails. I don't know. They would probably look weird on me and they might not fit me. Because maybe they have my size. He doesn't really care about stuff like that, Jupiter. So if I asked him, he's like, he'd probably be like, you don't need to. Malaysian jail. Thank you, Kingston. I'm on my way right now. Getting lashes. No, I have some fake lashes, but.
And Chantal, I'm going to bring up something that might just hurt your feelings, and I don't care. I'm just in that kind of mood today. You were in the Middle East with Salah. And while you were in the Middle East, you were thinking about and dreaming about Nader and how things would go when you came back to Canada. I'm of the opinion that one of the main reasons why you got the apartment that you got with the rent that you had to pay, part of that motivation was Nader. Part of the motivation was because it was in a nice area with stores and restaurants and you were close to your food addiction sources. But also it was to impress Nader, wasn't it? You had to have something on par with Dee Dee's condo because Nader's a bit of a house snob. You know, if he's staying somewhere, he's not going to go anywhere that, in his opinion, is a step below what he's used to. So you had to get something on par with what he was used to or better. So you chose the apartment. So while you were in the Middle East, you're dreaming about Nader and being reunited with Nader. And maybe you were thinking, if I got a nice place, if I live alone, he'll come see me and maybe we can have a second chance. So you set it all up. You brought in all the details. Nice area, nice apartment. I can invite him over. Maybe the chemistry's still there. Maybe we can connect and maybe he can live with me. And if he had agreed, you wouldn't be focused on Salah right now. But you saw him, you had him at your place, and things did not go the way you wanted them to go. So all that planning, all that daydreaming was for nothing. And you still haven't learned your lesson because you're hanging on to Salah for dear life. You're like, if we can just go on a romantic vacation to Malaysia and I put on some sexy lingerie, he'll fall in love with me. Girl, no, he won't. He wasn't in love with you then. He's not in love with you now. He wasn't attracted to you then. He's not attracted now. You're still trying to be a forcer and force your way into that man's life, and it's not gonna work. If you're not attracted to somebody, you're not attracted to them. If you're not in love with them and they aren't in love with you, nothing's gonna change that. You're an idiot for trying to force your way into his life and find a place there because you're so desperate to attach yourself to somebody. You are desperate to attach yourself to Salah and his family. They don't want nothing to do with you. You don't have a place in his family. You are not a part of his family. You have a family, a real family that you're related to. You're not even close to them, and you want to attach yourself to a bunch of strangers. They don't want you, and they don't want you around him. Get that through your thick skull. You are not wanted by either family because you are an embarrassment, because you are a manipulator, because you're a liar, because you're hurtful. You're not going to fix yourself. So the best they can do is isolate you away from them for their own preservation and protection. Stop trying to force yourself on people, predator.
With Julia on one of them, Breezes. Arms waxed, yeah, shave them. See-through hijab.
Listen, y'all. I'm not a Salah fan. Never have been, never will be. But on a human level, on a humanity level, He's not a good guy. He's a sleazeball, just like Foodie. But on a human level, I find the idea of this predator woman, Foodie, trying to force a man to go on vacation with her and then force him to be intimate with her, absolutely detestable and gross. If the roles were reversed and Foodie were a man versus a woman, trying to force a woman to go on vacation with her, have sex with her as a him, would the conversation be any different? No. Gender means nothing here. Trying to force intimate contact of any kind, trying to force your way into a person's personal space or force intimacy is gross. It's inappropriate. It is predatory. It is nasty. It is evil. And that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to force her way into his personal space. And she's also got plans to force intimacy, which she's going to want to have nothing to do with. It's disgusting.
No, that would be like not wearing one, Neil.
I mean, let's paint this scenario. What if she actually goes to Malaysia, which I don't think she's going to go. She's in Malaysia with Salah. She's got him right there where she wants him. She puts on the lingerie. And he's doing everything he can not to gag and throw up in his mouth. And he says no. And then she pulls out the blackmail. Well, you better do something with me, blah, 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 blah. Or I'm going to say this, blah, 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 blah. Which she's probably going to do because she wants something to happen. Just so she can have bragging rights and say, see, we were intimate. You were a predator and you would try to be intimate. You forced your way onto a man. I'm sorry, that's nasty. That's gross. That's inappropriate. But she would do it. She doesn't care about somebody's personal space. She doesn't care if they're saying no. It's all about what she wants. She is a predator through and through. And yeah, Foodie, you are a predator. And I know you come over here and watch my live streams because you made the comment the other day. They already think I'm a predator. Hey, if the shoe fits, you are a predator, bitch. You are. You prey on people. And you don't want your beezers to pick up on that. You don't want them to see that you're a predator. And to keep that from happening, you paint this picture of, I'm the victim, I'm the victim. No, you make other people into victims. You're constantly preying on people and animals because it's what you want. If I want it, therefore it makes it okay. No, it's not okay. You're a fucking predator. I'll say it 1,000 times. You are a predator. I see you for what you are. I call you out for what you are. Hate it if you want to or not, but you are what the fuck you are. You're a predator. And you know that Salah has his life in Syria. You know he's got somebody else. You know he's happy. You're a happiness hater. You don't want him to be happy. You want to be miserable with you because you're a ball of misery yourself. You want him to come to Malaysia with you, put up with you in all your misery. And then one of the things you're planning to do is force yourself on him. And that's just nasty. You know he doesn't want to touch you. Yet you're already planning on something happening without even asking how he feels, knowing he doesn't want it. So how are you not a fucking predator, bitch?
No, Caitlin, that's not true. I just didn't understand some of them, but now I do. The fake eyelashes that you get, yeah, I hear that they can ruin your eyelashes. I don't have very long, nice eyelashes, but biffy. That's not really how religion works. I understand.
Sansiri says, don't waste your time on lashes and nails when you're a beast. She's focusing on eyelashes and nails. Hey, how about taking a bath? How about brushing your teeth? How about improving your personal hygiene where you don't smell like a garbage bag covered in dumpster juice? How about that? How about just basic, normal human personal hygiene where you smell decent, where your breath doesn't stink? How about that? Nope, let's focus on the lashes, let's focus on the nails. What is that old saying? You can paint a garbage can gold, but it's still a gold garbage can. So even if you put on lashes, Foodie, and nails, you're just going to be a garbage bag that smells like a garbage bag with nails and lashes. Good job. You really got your priorities straight.
And people wanting to be helpful, though. Yeah. Right. Remember when on The Simpsons, Reverend Lovejoy asked,
And I love this comment from Here You Are saying, Beezers paid over $10,000 to be rid of Salah. Why would they want to see him again? They don't. She was over in the Middle East saying, if something happens to me, it was them. Acting like she was in danger. Came back to Canada with that money, spent all that money. Now she's going back to him. Are you getting it now, Beezers? Are you? That you're being had, that you've been having being had? That she's going to take your money and do what she wants with it? That she's never going to be rid of him? She doesn't want to be rid of him? If she went to Malaysia, it's going to be a shit show. It is. But don't worry, it's not going to happen anyway. But in the meantime, she's getting your money.
Ned Flanders, if he's considered one of the other religions, because he's so tired of getting calls from Ned. Chudster, yeah. Again, I'm just like, there's no point in getting offended by people. There's always going to be different people that try to press you or whatever. Like, whatever. You know? Ned. The weather is nice in Malaysia. It's going to be humid. Extremism everywhere, yeah. Get some pink color hijab and dress. Yeah. Yeah, I need some like cotton clothes and stuff because it's going to be hot. 6 mile run, wow. Yeah, I'm wearing it here, so. That's okay. I don't even remember you telling me about the weather, Chudster. Cotton or linen. Remember my seersucker dress? Maybe they'll have some there. I don't know if they have weird plus size clothing stores there. Nice wig. I think it is going to be close to monsoon season, yeah.
Like, nothing about this trip makes sense. She's very heat sensitive, and she wants to go to Malaysia, a very hot, tropical country where it's hot all the time. She's going in the middle of rain season where it's going to be raining all the time, which might be good for her as far as the heat because, if it's raining a lot, it's not going to be as hot. But it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. I'm sure there's a lot of walking that will have to be done, and she hates to walk. So what is she going to do in Malaysia if she's unable to walk very far? If she's unable to go anywhere? Not much at all. So imagine her and Salah stuck in a hotel room fighting all day because all she wants to do is eat. And she's going to send him out in the rain for food all the time. That's going to be a lot of fun for her and him, I suppose.
I think so, from what I checked. So it'll probably rain in the afternoons. I was in Thailand for monsoon season, and you know. Shein has white linen. White. Yeah, do they have plus size though? That's the thing. Hi, Scrape. How's you?
So people in Kitten's chat are saying that she got a lifetime ban from the mall. Good. If that's the case, good. Good. I hope she got a lifetime ban because she's already said she will film whoever she wants, including children. So that means you are a menace and you're a danger to society, especially children, and you should not be allowed back into that mall, bitch. I hope they banned her for life. For the sake of anyone who goes to shop there, they deserve their privacy.
I don't know. Just depends. I guess I'll have to see what I can find.
Oh,
They have plus size now. Need a car. Someone say washcloth. I slept okay. Broken sleep a bit. I had some pretty bad dreams I won't repeat. Ugh.
what are your nightmares, Foodie? Did you have nightmares about having a conversation with your conscience and it was telling you you're messing up and you're acting stupid and you're about to get your just desserts and not the kind you can stick in your mouth? Is that what your nightmares were? Reality setting in?
Yeah. Maple Dijon mustard chicken. Wow. Yum. Sounds delicious, Frosted. Good luck on your fast. Bad dreams, yeah. I don't know why, but no, I don't. Yeah, the elephant pants I think are we will be reunited again.
No, you won't. You can't fit into those pants.
Iftar probably around the same time. After 5, close to 6 p.m., like 5:40 something.
Moving
There's
along.
certain areas, yeah. BG can have a friend. The longest time I've been on a plane is 13 hours. So it's going to be longer than what I'm usually used to. Don't kidnap any monkeys.
I'll believe that Foodie is going somewhere when I see it. Until then, it's all talk. She's just talking to talk. It's all it is. I'll believe it when I freaking see it. I mean, if she does end up going to Malaysia or somewhere else, it could be somewhere else. Wherever she's going, it's going to be a poop show. You know it is. Which would be great for the reaction channels if it is, because she'll have entire meltdowns wherever she's going.
Yes, your butt hurts, everything hurts. Magnesium. Oh, really? I got to get some of that. Pigeons in the city. Ugh. I honestly just sleep like the whole time usually. And eat and sleep.
And then when you get to where you're going, that's exactly what you're going to do. Eat and sleep.
It must be broken sleep and I must be snoring like hell because I don't have my CPAP. So it's usually not deep sleep, but it's enough sometimes where I wake up and I check. 4 hours went by. Go back, let my eyes close again. Wake up, another hour and a half went by. and then dinner. And in between that, there's like usually 3 meals served on like certain airlines. So depends on the airline, but at least 2 full meals and like a snack or something. So in between that, I sleep, and then I'm like usually awake the last 2 hours or so. Yeah, it's not too bad. It sucks, but you get baked. I used to, when I was doing like gummies, when I was taking edibles, I used to, whenever I would be going from like whenever you can buy them in Canada, like at the Toronto, like in Toronto, Montreal. Of course, you can't do that in the Middle East, but Dramamine bees. Flying high. Lease. Yeah. So if there's like usually I used to not eat ECP, like I used to just refuse the meals where you have to use the tray thing, like the first couple flights I did. But because let's say on Qatar Airways they give you 2 like big meals, and then
More food talk. I don't care. Moving along, ma'am. Let's not talk about food.
extra, but not, because if you fly in business and first class, it's obviously a lot bigger, but they're like thousands more, So I agree. Maybe 1 or 2 chairs wouldn't be too bad, but poop spray, like air freshener. Pop a couple Imodium because I really don't want to deal with the bathrooms that way. Yeah. These are airways. Imagine. Billionaires have private planes, but not our foodie. Yeah, air freshener. I call it poo spray. Because you don't need it when you pee, just when you poo, so. In today's world, they just need an airway for tall and fat people. Death Valley Deb, right? Yes. What could they call it? Oh. $2,000. Oh gosh, that Face Island dragonfly. I can show the drawings on here. Yes, I ask people who, want what they want. So if you want me to show
More grifting, more looking for money.
Your picture and the picture drawn, I can. If you don't, I don't. I respect your privacy. I can show the picture, whatever you want. Like, it's up to you. If you want me to do one behind the scenes, just get in touch with me. Yeah, I draw people. Somebody compared my drawing to Napoleon Dynamite. I was pretty flat.
Next.
Fork it over. The Waffle House of air travel? Flare Air? Never even heard of that. Is that like Ryan Air or Spirit? I heard Spirit is pretty bad. Spirit is better than Frontier? Really? I wouldn't mind taking a budget airline like that if it was only like an hour or 2. But if it's a longer haul flight, forget it. First of all, they don't go international, do they? You can book Dolly Parton's tour bus for $10,000 a night. Forget it. You know how many poor people you can feed with $10K? Shit. The pilots are rough with the planes.
I'm skipping ahead a lot because I'm looking for something interesting here. And she's just babbling. As all she's doing is babbling. She's babbling to run up the meter and get the ad money, which is what she did on YouTube, which that's what she does on Twitch. That's what she does on Kick. Anywhere she goes, it's like, I just want to get monetized so I can just sit here and babble and still make money.
Poor Fee. He's just very, very depressed, but it's one of those things where his environment and his situation, like, doesn't help. I think if he was surrounded in a good environment where he has really bad anxiety. I said, if it gets really bad, head over to the walk-in clinic at the mall and get some antidepressants or anti-anxiety medicine or something.
And she's talking about Pete's. She's going off about Pete's. And again, it makes no sense to me that you want Pete's, who doesn't have a vehicle, who does not drive, to travel on 2 buses to get to you? You're not even going to go get him and bring him back? He's going to stay in the apartment building in your apartment for a month and take care of your cat when you can easily pack up the cat in a carrier and take him to where he is. If I were Pete's, I wouldn't trust you anyway, because you've been known to put people in bad situations and leave them holding the bag. But from a tenant perspective, as someone that you live in apartments, that I've lived in them before, I just don't see how any landlord would be okay with a non-tenant that they don't know being in an apartment that is not theirs for 30 days. That kind of feels like squatting, even though he wouldn't technically be squatting. It just, if I were management, I would raise my eyebrows to that. And if I were Pete's, I wouldn't trust the situation. If Foodie said, yeah, I'll pay the rent before I go, I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't trust that at all. I would not trust that. Nope. Like, also, on top of him staying there, is she going to have enough food for the animal? Remember when she went to Kuwait? She didn't leave enough food for BBJ and Sam. Are you going to make sure that everything is stocked up for a month, that there's enough food for Pete's for a month? Are you going to have enough cat food, cat litter, cat treats, and all that for a month? I don't think you will.
She needs protein. Yeah, he doesn't have any. None. Every day. 0. So I'm going to make sure he eats a lot of it here. I'm going to maybe get him one of those strip loins. He needs love and good food, and yeah.
TC Honey says, so you're going to leave your kitten with someone you know is not mentally well? I mean, she's done it before. She did it before with BBJ and Sam. To be fair to Pete, BBJ and Sam were not his animals. They were hers. It's her responsibility. But still, like, you know, someone is not on top of pet care, and you're going to leave the pet care to someone who's maybe not wanting to do it or not set up well to do it. Yeah.
Thank you, Pooh. Yeah. Poor Pete. He doesn't eat protein at all. Rice and sun. No, he doesn't even get sun.
I mean, if she wants to do the cat sitting thing, there are services out there. There are people that if you talk to them, if you arrange for them to come and take care of your animals, they can show up at your apartment and take care of your animals. They can make sure that they're fed properly, that they have proper water, maybe change the cat litter, or if it's a dog, you take them out for walks. There are pet sitting services. She just doesn't want to pay proper cat sitting services for her animal.
No, that's okay, Repsion. I think they were just doing their job. So I just, I think my raging made it worse. I apologize to them today. He doesn't take, I don't know if he still takes vitamins or not. I don't think.
And I'm sorry. I mean, again, I'm not a Pete's fan, but I can't help but recall how when he was taking care of BBJ and Sam, he didn't change the doggone litter boxes for over 3 months. He would just take new litter and pile it on top of the old litter. And then he would complain of like, oh, I can't change the cat box because it's too heavy. He's a grown man and he couldn't think his way around a problem. That even if you put too much litter in a box, take some of the litter out, put it in a garbage bag, take it down to the dumpster, and get the weight of the box down to where you can carry the whole thing to the dumpster and dump it, and then wash it out. So yeah, I remember how I didn't change the litter for 3 freaking months.
I think so. He has to.
And when it comes to cats, for those who are not cat owners, for those who don't know, depending on the litter, whether it's clay or scoop litter, if it's scoop litter, you got to scoop that out every day, 2 or 3 times a day. If it's regular clay litter, when cats pee, the pee emits an ammonia smell if it sits too long, which can be bad for you, and it can be bad for the animal because it turns into ammonia in the air. And that's another reason you got to be on top of the cat litter, because cats, they're hardwired to bury their waste. They do it because in the wild, they got to worry about predators finding out where they are. So they bury their waste. But if they're not out in the wild, if they're in the house, they're going to go to the cat box and want to bury it. And you got to be on top of that litter situation. And I don't trust Pete's with keeping a clean litter box. Sorry, no,
He really has bad anxiety. How does he stay alive? I don't know. A lot of Swedish berries. Oh, maybe they have gelatin, so there's protein in that. I'm going to stock up my kitchen with healthy stuff for him. Multivitamin gummies. That's another thing. Yeah. At least he'll have a month of, You two took care of each other when you were living there. Yeah. Sometimes I watch his chat. I try not to give it attention, but I usually watch his live streams a lot. And I'll notice in the chat,
Sugar Pop Lily Mae said, this is dry begging for money for Pete's. Yes. She's saying, I got to spend all this money so I can feed Pete's and I can have proper supplies for the cat. This is dry begging for Pete's being there. Hey, Chantal, whatever money you got to spend on food for Pete's, not that you're going on this trip, but if you did, Pete's doesn't eat much. You could spend like $50, $60, $100 on groceries, and that'll last him for a while. And if he runs out of food, hey, he's a grown man. He needs to buy his own food. But even if that doesn't happen, I'm sure there are people in his chat that would help him get food. No worries. I'm sure they'll take care of him. But you're dry begging for money for Pete's, and yet it's going to go on your pocket. So I don't trust that either. You're over there saying, I need money for this and I need money for that. Knowing you'll buy like 1 or 2 bags of like chicken nuggets, put it in the freezer, a few cans of cat food, and call it a day. And put the rest in your pocket.
Some people like to stir up crap and try to plant it in his head not to watch BG. I'm not a good friend.
You're not a good friend. Look what you did back at the villa. You went to Kuwait and left him with a $5,000 damage bill to that villa. Did you pay it? No, I'm sure that he's still dealing with it. You're not a good friend. Even if you want to go be with Salah back in the day, you didn't give him proper notice. You didn't say, hey, Pete, I want to go be with so-and-so. And I'm letting you know ahead of time so you can prepare. I need you to start looking for a job, like just configure things to where you can take care of yourself, because soon I'm going to be out of here. I'm not going to pay the rent anymore. I'm leaving. So I'm giving you like 6 months notice to prepare, to look for a job, get a job, start putting back paychecks. You weren't a good friend. You gave him almost no notice. You left him high and dry. You didn't care what happened to him. You didn't care what happened to the cat. So no, you're not a good friend. When the two of you lived together, you were taking his depression medication and you thought that was funny. You were trash talking him to natter. You call that being a good friend? Do you? Because I wouldn't call it being a good friend. When you were living together, when he had a job, when he had money, you were all over him to quit his job to join you on YouTube. And then when he did join you on YouTube, you would roll your eyes at him and then take trips to the park to sit in your car and talk trash. You broke his heart multiple times. You put him in debt multiple times to the point where he couldn't go to therapy. Do any of these things sound like being a good friend? No, you're a horrible friend. And you're not even a friend to Pete's anymore. He's an introvert and you are just his person. Sometimes introverts, they pick one person to be their person. And unfortunately, he picked you. And you've been nothing but hurtful to him. So I hope that he says no to this whole arrangement. Despite all of your pressuring, despite all of your poking, I hope he really thinks it over and says no. Because I got a feeling you're about to leave him high and dry and not give a doggone about what happens to him after you leave. Because your mindset is, I'm not just going on a trip, I'm escaping Canada. But I'm not going to tell anybody else that. I'm just going to let them figure it out when it happens.
And stuff like that, you know? Like, I would do anything for him. Like, they're like, you know, like, I don't know what they're talking about. But I just ignore it. But I think that a lot of people don't have his best interest in mind. That's for sure.
As if you do. As if you have his best interest in mind. If you really cared about Pete's, you would leave that man alone. You would leave well enough alone. If you had even half a heart, you would say to yourself, you know what? I have done enough damage to this man. I have broken his heart. I have betrayed him. I cheated on him. I put him in debt. I have hurt him severely. The kindest thing I can do is leave him alone, but you just won't. Why? Because you want power over somebody. And you still think you can push him around. So tell me again how you're a good friend.
You've seen him cook pasta. You guys can help him. When I'm gone, you can help him cook. You guys know how my apartment works, right? So if help him out with the stove and soup, a cereal, or a chowder. What's a chowder? That's interesting. Like, what qualifies as a chowder? He would eat TV dinner.
Nancy McCoy says, remember the first time she went to Kuwait? All the stuff she was going to do for Pete's, nothing. Yeah, she said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. She didn't do anything.
Until he boycotted the company. Yes. Yeah, he's funny. Chowder is thick and creamy. Yum. Stove does not come on unless you are seated. Imagine. Are you being a smartass? No, I'm just joking. Really? Okay. You guys are sweet. I have seen skin. Oh, no. I can't. Eating a dog and cat is haram anyways. I would never eat it. No. Are able to see the address on Amazon wishlist now? What? Well, then maybe I won't, even though people already know it. I mean, people already know it. Are you scooting around? No. I'm going to force myself to walk, you know. I have a halal chicken and potatoes. Like, how much more scratch can it be? You can't make a chicken from scratch.
Moving on from the food talk.
I do eat meat. Yeah, that's why I say I'm a hypocrite. That way. I just don't think about it. Like, I do the way before me, so she should be able to have her channel looked at. Maybe they didn't give her an answer yet. Hey, Sally. So what I've done is just cleaned up my channel. And I've kept some videos about making Syrian food. If they don't want to remonetize me for that, then I'm not going to go back on there.
Chantal, you're not, guys, I don't think she's going to get monetization back on YouTube. And as much as she talks about getting monetization back, I don't think she's going back. And here's why. Because she's on Kick, because she's on Twitch. She wants to do what she wants to do. And what she wants to do is do lazy content where she eats food and she wants to talk about her food issues, which is exactly what got her in trouble in the first place. If she got back on YouTube and got monetized, what content is she going to do? It doesn't involve her stuffing her face 1 minute and then complaining about her food issue the next. She won't be able to help herself. She's going to gorge and gorge and gorge. And then when people call her out for gorging, she's going to go and do the sympathy route of like, you guys don't understand. It's impossible to get over. I can't control myself. And then she's going to get reported and lose monetization again. You see the content that she's doing on Twitch and Kick. This is what she wants to do on YouTube, and she can't do on YouTube anymore. And she just can't do a simple live stream where she's talking to people and not involve food somehow.
No way. Just for the principle, you know? I don't know, victim of timeout. That's discrimination.
And call me sadistic. A lot of people are saying, I want Chantal Foodie Beauty to lose her channel. I think that there's something worse than someone losing their entire channel. Is that devastating? Yes. But I'll tell you what's worse than that. Having a channel and you're not making money with it. If you rely on monetization from YouTube and that's your entire income. Which is worse? Not having a channel or having a channel and then you're doing a live stream and there's nobody there. For Chantal, that would be the more devastating. Like she's showing up and saying, where's everybody at? Why am I not getting super chats? Why am I not making money? For her, that would be devastating. To have a channel and she can't rely on it for her income. So I say let her keep her channel, but not able to make money with it.
That's actually not good for eating disorders. Telling people they can't eat? That's ridiculous.
Here we go again with this ridiculous argument. Eating on camera is not a right. So please stop with all the false indignation.
Ridiculous. I just won't talk about it. That's all. But you're sure as heck going to believe that I'm going to do some, like, try some foods and, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just ridiculous. Hey, Majo. Yes. Nina, yeah. Regular cooking vlogs, yeah. I don't know. I can only reapply March 10th, so I guess I'll find out. Yeah, no more. I'm not doing mukbangs on there, that's for sure.
Yay.
Like, I would honestly almost be tempted to put every penny or like every penny I ever have, save up and like sue them for discrimination.
You're not going to do that.
If I'm not talking about my ED and I like a human being has to eat. So they're basically what? Demonetizing Eugenia for not eating and for us for eating.
That she's bringing up Miss Cooney for a reason. She's doing the whataboutisms. Well, what about this? And what about that? And what about this person? You're trying to use another person to reinforce your false argument.
I don't find that fair.
Too bad.
And even when I did talk about it, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to do mukbangs. Yeah.
Good. We don't need to see them anyway.
I'm not going to do that.
And you weren't really doing mukbangs. You were just monetizing your gorging, your B moments. There are other people that do mukbangs, true mukbangs. You monetize your eating problem and gorging yourself stupid.
Yeah, Breezev. Yeah, they should have a human. If you're going to demonetize a channel, making a certain amount of money, like, you know, you're just taking somebody's entire livelihood away just like that.
That's the thing, though. YouTube is not supposed to be somebody's entire livelihood. I mean, there are some YouTubers that are making a pretty penny off of YouTube, and good for them. I celebrate other people's success. If they've reached that level of success on YouTube, I say good for them. I applaud them because it takes a lot of work to get to that level. It may take years. But anybody who's got a lick of sense knows that it's not a good idea to put all your eggs in one basket just in case the basket breaks. Anything could happen to YouTube at any time. YouTube could take monetization from everybody. Say, we are no longer monetizing any channel for any reason. It's a free-for-all platform. And what are we going to do about it? A lot of people have YouTube channels, and the money we make is just whatever money. And we treat it as whatever money because, you know, money comes and money goes. You decided to make social media your entire livelihood, and that is your stupid decision. That you didn't have a plan B, C, D, and E lined up, doing things on the side, finding different interests and hobbies, and having a second job or having a second profession. You should have been pre-planning. A lot of people do. Why didn't you? Because you're Foodie Beauty? Who cares? You and Amberlynn Reed, you're both idiots because you're just not getting it through your head. The era of watching two big, problematic, dramatic women on YouTube, you guys had your high moment. You had your high wave, but it's petering off. It hits different now, your content. It used to be where you and Amber did some, silly content, eating food. We talk about you, react to you, but it hits different now. A lot of people are struggling out there. They're struggling to make rent and bills, and they're trying to take care of their health and take care of their families. And to watch two grown-ass women destroy their health on purpose for money. Those of us that are normal look at the two of you and go, why would they do this when they have the opportunity to make their lives better, not worse? You both are making yourself sick and you think it's okay. It's not okay. And it's not okay to monetize that. To do fetish content on YouTube and think that's all right. It's not. Like, your era and Amberlynn Reed's era is just about over. It really is. And I'm not saying that in an ominous way. No. I'm just saying that you and her, you're racing towards the finish line. The finish line is not good. There's going to be no good outcome from this. And you're completely blind to that fact.
From a robot? No. They should be more specific on how to avoid those mistakes. What they don't tell you, they just tell you doesn't align with our YouTube something policies. And then, you know, in some videos we removed it for self-harm. And it's like, okay, but so then tell us, like, you know, going forward. But I guess they will review the channel when I reapply. And if there's any content on there, they feel like if it's not monetizable, which I don't know why it wouldn't be, it's just vlogs, travel vlogs, really basically what I kept on there. But it's also money that they don't make as well.
So is that going to be your argument point to YouTube? Hey, YouTube, I'm Foodie Beauty. I've got all of these reaction channels that react to me. You should let me back on the platform. You should monetize me because I'm at the nucleus of this entire ecosystem known as Girl World. You need me to be on the platform in order for you to make a lot of money. Guess what? They're still making money because we're still reacting to you no matter what platform you go on. So that argument is out the window. We're still doing reactions. We don't necessarily need to be on Kick or Twitch or YouTube for that.
They earn the money from the advertisers. So YouTube gets a lot of money from having people on their platform. That's how they make money.
You just don't want to get it through your head. YouTube does not need you. You need YouTube. Kick doesn't need you. You need Kick. Twitch doesn't need you. You need Twitch. You need social media to make money. But those platforms don't necessarily need you. They have other content creators that are probably doing much better than you that are far less problematic. Social media does not need you. You are not a requirement for anybody to be successful. You're just an addict trying to monetize your addiction. Stop it.
Yeah, they let them have polls. Yeah, exactly like that. Talking about when someone's going to die, how they're going to die, fat shaming, fat phobic, Islamophobic.
Oh, girl, shut up. Shut up. I think when you first put on the abaya and the hijab, you were hoping that the reaction channels would get hateful just so you could scream Islamophobia and get us in trouble, hoping that would cancel some channels. That didn't happen. I've been on many reaction channels. I have not seen Islamophobia. I haven't seen it and I haven't heard it. And I've been in many different chats on many different occasions. No Islamophobia. Everybody in the community, we respect the Muslim people. We respect the Muslim faith. We don't respect you. There's a difference because you are being very disrespectful to the Muslim faith. You're being very disrespectful to the Muslim people. You're treating the faith and you're treating the people as you're cosplaying. You're LARPing it. You're not being respectful. You're putting on the abaya and you're putting on the hijab strictly for the fetish freaks. Because there are people out there that are into that niche of watching a Muslim woman do haram content. And that's their kink. You're putting that stuff on for kink fetish people. That's why you keep it on. Because you can't satisfy their kink without having it on. And you're over there screaming fat phobia. Yet you cater to people that want to watch you get bigger. But that's their kink. So it's fat phobic to be someone on YouTube that's been watching you for years, and we're noticing that your weight is going up and you are losing your mobility. Your breathing is getting worse. That's fat phobic. We just can't make a simple observation of somebody's health declining, because if we do, we're fat phobic. And yet you're going to showcase your lack of health on camera. You're going to talk about your lack of health on camera publicly with people. So you're going to put it out there. I'm in really bad health and I'm really sick. But anybody remarking on the things you say and the things you do and the things you show, that's fat phobic? No, it's just another person looking at another person, listening to another person and giving their opinion. But there's no fat phobia in that, Chantal.
just awful people, harassment, bullying, doxing, and they just let those channels be. But me talking about struggling with, you know, ways of improving my life, what diets I'm trying, this and that, you know, that's totally okay. They're worried about being liable. But what about being liable if one of the creators that's being targeted isn't strong and they end up unaliving themselves, and they would be in shit, because I won't do that. But I'm just saying, I've actually have proof of conversations kept with YouTube creator support. Real people, I've been in contact with real people who've looked at such channels and said, yes, it is hate, but we will forward it to our team to look it over. And they do nothing about it. I've told them it affects my mental health.
Oh, what is it you said before when you got in trouble? When Pizza's cat Timbit died, and people were giving you crap in your own chat during Cracked Olympics about you should be there for your friend, you got mad and you said what? Remember what you said, Chantal, that night? You're like, I want to be with my boyfriend. And you also said, Pizza's mental health is not my problem. There's nothing I can do about it. So if you got that attitude towards your BFF of 17 plus years about his mental health is not my problem, not my issue, why should YouTube care about your mental health and your issue? Because if it's your mental health and it's your issue, you should be the first person to care about it and do something about it. It ain't nobody else's responsibility.
So if somebody unalives themselves and they've been reporting it over and over and over and nothing was done about it, I'm sure that they would get in shit for that and sued. Definitely. Because most of the time, I don't do anything I don't perpetuate any of this.
No, you don't do anything.
Once in a while, I defend myself in rage. I don't do anything on a daily basis to acknowledge these people. I don't fight back most of the time. I just be.
You know what? I got some things to say. We're stopping her right here because I got things to say. Miss, I don't do anything. I don't do anything to cause people to hate me. I don't do anything to tick people off. I don't affect people in any way. Listen, bitch. You've done a lot of awful things on YouTube. Miss, I want to be a victim, but I'm not a victim. I'm a predator. You better listen to me right now. You have a problem with food. You are a food addict. You getting on YouTube and by monetizing the content that you did, talking about your ED, wanting sympathy for that. At the same time, you were coming on camera, having outright B moments, and don't try it with me, bitch. You were having the B moments right there in front of everybody. You were laughing and joking about it. Putting tags on your videos and on your live streams, targeting those who are on YouTube looking for channels that would support their addiction recovery, trying to get their attention, saying, come on over to my channel. This is a safe channel. Come watch me, when it was completely unsafe for their recovery. You've gone out of your way to trigger people who have addictions, whether it's rug addiction, food addiction. Like, you want people who are addicts, or people who are recovering addicts, or people who are fetishists coming to your channel and watching you. You've done content and you continue to do content that might trigger people to relapse. But no, you don't do anything, do you? No. Nuh-uh. I don't do anything, she says. Yet when you get PDF files in your own chat, you don't kick them out, and you support and defend PDF files. You put a child on camera and put her at risk for the sake of getting a little money in your pocket. And then when you get creeps and weirdos saying, can you lift up her shirt for me? You're going to claim innocence. At the same time, you're trying to exploit innocence, and you put innocence in danger. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. I don't do anything. You know what, Chantal? I would be on your side if you were right. If you were just somebody coming online and you were doing the food content and you were getting picked on and bullied for no random reason, I'd be the first to say, you're right. I haven't seen any evidence that you've done wrong and you're in the right and everybody else is wrong, but I don't see that. You've done a lot of wrong. You don't want to account for the wrong. There's no accountability for it all. You want to play victim. Sorry, no. You can't do that. You can't exploit innocence. You can't grift off innocence. You can't put innocence in danger. You can't sit there and trigger addicts or people who are trying to get over their addiction and say, I haven't done wrong. No, not fucking hearing it today. No. You're on kick right now, eating on camera. There might be people in the kick audience that have food issues. And if you wanted sympathy for your ED, then you would have enough respect for people who've been through addiction to say addiction is awful. It is the hardest fight that a person can have. And I don't want to make the fight even harder. I don't want to make it impossible. I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that nobody is triggered by me, because even if I'm not in recovery, I care about everybody else's recovery. I'm going to be at least that compassionate and understanding not to trigger people. But you don't give a fuck about people who are addicts. You don't care about their recovery. You care about monetizing what's wrong with you. You don't care what's wrong with other people and if they're trying to get on the other side of it. So don't try that shit. Like, I haven't done anything wrong. You saying that just shows me you're not going to change, that you don't want to change, because the first step in changing is accountability and responsibility. And you're not showing those things. It's been years. You have all kinds of chances to change yourself, to make yourself better. You don't want to. Nobody can make you. It's your life. It's your choice. But you don't care how you affect any other life besides your own. If you're going downhill, you're going to take people with you. You're declining, you want us to watch. You want other people to watch you decline. And you want them to support your decline, to see you rotting in your own flesh. You want them to give you money for it. You want people to support your self-harm content. And you hate Girl War because we don't support it. We speak out against it. We're called the haters. When the people who are the real haters are the ones in your own chat who know you've got an issue with food and they talk about food with you, they know that's going to deliberately trigger you, and that's what they're looking for. The people that are putting money in your pocket are the ones who are helping an addict with their addictions. So no, we're not the real haters. The real haters are the ones who wear friendly faces and sends you super chats and donos and little bits over there on Twitch and Kick. They're supporting the demise. They're praising it. They're pulling it onward. They're the ones that have a more of an interest in seeing you in a casket. They're the ones that are doing that. But you didn't do anything wrong, right, Foodie? You're not doing anything wrong. I call bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And I'll keep calling it bullshit because that's what it is. Like it or not.
Business. So, so that's it. Yeah, exactly. Right. They should be. They 100% should be banned if or demonetized. Yeah, I get a week ban for.
It's been a while, and she's still salty about the fact that the reaction channels, we're still here. We are still reacting. We're still monetized, and she's gone because she thought that she was above it all. She thought because she was Foodie Beauty and she was on YouTube for 10 years, and then a bunch of people react to her, that put her in a no-touch zone. That she was in a VIP area. She had carte blanche to do what she wanted. And she found out otherwise. She flew too close to the sun and she got burned. And although she's got the chance to fix it by doing different content, she doesn't want to. She wants to stick to the same addiction-based content, which is her choice. But if she's going to make that choice, she can't be monetized on YouTube again. But in the meantime, let's hit on the reactors.
For talking about Kalari, I swear, it's like, I swear, it's like they're in on it. I'm not even kidding. That's how it feels. If it even looks like that to you guys, imagine how I feel about it, you know?
Oh, pity poor you. Shut up.
I have not talked to a lawyer.
You know what? YouTube gave her more grace than what she deserved. Before she did her Cuba bees, her channel was taken away. And then on her birthday, it was given back. That's unheard of. YouTube giving somebody their channel back. They gave hers back. That could have been her moment to change things around. But she didn't. It just made her feel like she was untouchable. Like, oh, I can do anything I want now. And she did. So they gave her a chance. More than they've ever given anybody else. And she blew it. And that's her fault. That's entirely her fault.
Hear about it, no. Because lawyers are really expensive. Yeah. No, I am strong. I would never do that to myself. No. I would never do that to myself over that. But yeah, I would never, period, do that to myself. But I'm just saying, what if it was somebody else they were targeting who's not that strong? You know?
You're not strong. You're not a strong person.
And that is why, yeah, I saw that.
You don't have steel in your backbone. You got marshmallow fluff. Girl, you're not strong.
I know, Frosted Maple. That is why the platforms have terms of service, but they don't enforce them where, like, all the time. And I'm sorry, but, you know, yeah, they are making a lot of visibility at the same time. But that's not my point, Fupa. That's not my point. My point is in serving, you know what I'm saying?
No, we don't know what you're saying. Half the time, we don't know what you're saying. You're trying to sound like you got a point to make and you never make it. And you cover that up with, you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? You know? Because you got no point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Well, Happy Joys, they do also, you know, encourage a lot of real world stuff as well. So, you know, it is a form of targeted harassment. And it does cause visibility, but at what cost to your mental health?
You know what? If you're blaming social media for your mental health, you know what you do? You get off social media. It's real simple. If you're saying social media affects my mental health, interactions with people on social media affect my mental health, that's when it's time to unplug and go do something else. It's easy. If one area is causing you distress, then remove yourself from said area.
You know what I'm saying?
No, not really.
Oh my God, Larry, do you have insurance? That's why I'm hoping, like, I'm glad I have insurance just in case of something like that. It's a figure of speech, gal Charlotte. You probably know that, but whatever. One of Chantel's haters is recuperating from having a double mastectomy. She's still making hate videos about Chantel. You'd think she'd spend her time being humble and grateful, but no. Not only is she diseased of the body, but also of the mind and soul. Yeah, that's awful. That can't be good for healing, that's for sure. Wow. I mean, you know, you have cancer. You should be grateful for life, not you using it to be a hateful piece of crap.
That was a sick comment. I believe right there they were talking about just saying having cancer. And of course, it would be Whitey Lover saying that. Whitey Lover says, one of Chantal's haters is recuperating from having a double mastectomy. She's still making hate videos about Chantal. You think she spent her time being humble and grateful, but no. Not only is she diseased of body, but also mind and soul. What a hateful fucking comment. Talking about somebody saying they got a diseased, she's diseased of body. To someone who just had a double mastectomy. Wow. Wow. You're going to hell for that, Whitey lover. You're going straight to hell. In a handbasket, my friend. You're going straight to hell for that. Talking about somebody who had a double mastectomy. You're going straight to hell.
They're also taking visibility by streaming her content with little to no edits. Yeah, true. Yeah. But whatever, at the end of the day, I'm not going to worry about myself about stuff I can't control. I'm just going to keep beezing and me focusing on being a better person than these people. And, you know, maybe someday it will pay off. Who knows? I know it will with my maker, and that's all I care about. I'm not here to impress anyone else anymore. My whole life, think of it, your whole life being a teenager, we're always so worried about.
You know, I hope that Chantal realizes what just happened right there. With Whitey Lover making that comment and her kind of agreeing with it. I hope she understands what just happened. But she's so simple-minded, I don't think she does. That she's not just putting down somebody who's had a double mastectomy, dealing with a serious issue. She's kind of slapping in the face those with similar issues. I don't think she thinks beyond, you know, like her own little simple, smooth brain. You don't know what you just did, Foodie.
What other people think about us, how we fit into society, when society could give a shit about you. You're just a number. You're just an ant. Like, seriously, worry about yourself and do what's good for you. Protect your peace and worry about the afterlife. You know, that's in my opinion why we're here. That's the whole meaning, you know.
You know, and it's really sickening and disgusting. The fact that Whitey Lover is bringing up Just Saying and her health issues. And I'm sure that Just Saying is trying to take care of her health. And then you got this one, willingly, knowingly, and eagerly destroying her health. And looking for funding for others to help her make herself more sick. It's nasty. It's twisted. These are the kinds of people that Chantal attracts. She talks about girl world and the kind of people in our audience, but look at these freaks. Talking about somebody who's had a double mastectomy. Terrible.
Yeah. Foop, I know, right? That's my mistake.
But then again, what do we expect from somebody who is a predator and defends other predators, sex offenders, PDF files? What do we expect? Maybe I'm expecting too much.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do that on purpose, Fupa. I just live my life and act how I am. And, you know, it gets reactions. Like, you know, I don't blame that. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should be flattered that even the most smallest, stupidest thing is entertaining to people. Like how
It's not entertaining to people at this point, and a lot of people have said it, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. At this point, Chantal, we're just here for the season finale. A lot of people have been watching you for years. We want to see how the story ends. We don't know what the ending is going to be, when it's going to happen, how it's going to go. We're just waiting to see how the story ends. We're here to see the show wrap up, whenever that is, however that is. And it's not really entertaining. It used to be entertaining. You used to have moments where you were giggling and silly and wacky, and you used to have fun in life. You're not having fun anymore. You're just waiting for something to happen. It's gotten dark and depressing, if you want to be honest. Your content is dark and depressing because you are on the decline. And you're making that happen. Nobody's making that happen but you. A lot of people just can't bear to watch you anymore because it's boring and it's depressing. And you know this and you don't care. You're just going to keep on keeping on until something does happen. And then when that happens, the show might be over. And we can all wrap it up and move on.
Cook in the kitchen or walking to the counter to get a sub. Or, you know, maybe that's flattering. Maybe I should be flattered. I don't know. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Chantal, and a lot of people have said this in chat, people don't even want you for you anymore. They don't. And it's your fault. You don't bring anything to the table. They go the reaction channels to have fun and chat with the reactor in question and the audience, because the audience is where it's at. Big ups and big props to you audience members. Like, you guys bring the humor, you bring the wit, we have fun, we joke around. You know, the audience is the entertainment. Honestly, so the reactors are entertaining, yes, but where would we be without our audience? So big ups and big props to those of you that go to the live chats, because you guys are funny. We have fun together, do we not? It's like we're all just standing around in one big room, joking, laughing, having a good time. That's what it's all about. We're here to have fun. And if the content isn't fun, we're going to have fun with each other. And then you got, you know, like example, like right now, Orange Cat. She got the intro, she's got the outro, she's got the great songs. Like, you know, it's just interactions like that that make things fun. And I appreciate all reactors. I appreciate all audience members. You guys make it happen.
Again, that wasn't done intentionally as a racist thing, so nice try. And that'll get you blocked, because that was how many years ago? I'm talking about right now. See, like, things that people take out of context or accuse me of that are not true, that isn't...
Ma'am, how can we take things out of context if we're putting on your live stream or your video that show what you are saying and doing in real time, and all we're doing is we're making our comments and our opinions? But there's the proof right there, right next to us. How we've taken it out of context if we're showing you saying things, doing things. How can it be taken out of context? Impossible.
Doesn't make me a villain. Yeah, I was defending myself. I felt threatened by the, you know, I don't think that, like, you know, I've apologized for that. So I think having a conscience and acknowledging that what I did was wrong kind of counters that whole villain thing.
No, it doesn't.
You know? Hey, Melly. I was joking and they went way left.
Like in my Twitter peeps, I just showed a clip from Crackhead Olympics where you were doing the Nazi salute. And you were laughing and giggling at that. You chose to do that. You chose to put that on video. You chose to laugh about it. And you knew how offensive it was, and you wanted to be offensive. But you don't want to be a villain. Yet you do things like that.
Not
and the proof is out there.
Intellectually honest. How are you, Melly? They don't care about the apology. Exactly. They don't. But I didn't apologize to public. I didn't apologize to haters. I didn't apologize to anybody except for the people that I directed that at. And I did it in person. So I think villains would not do that. The most villainous thing is the way you pronounce Chip. Charlie Gold, alien. Basically what they said, they made this whole thing that I'm a racist because Oh my God, here we go. Her name is Charlie Gold, right?
Okay, for context, before she even starts running her yammer, what happened? Chantal made an awful comment about Charlie, like her reactor name is Charlie Gold. She called her Charlie Cole. Charlie Gold is a woman of color, and referring to a woman of color, a black woman, as Charlie Cole. People in her own chat and people in girl world called her out for that. Big time. And she apologized. How did she apologize? She did a mukbang with Pete's, eating fried chicken. So she wasn't really sorry. She wasn't sorry at all. So the apology really wasn't a real apology of, I said something awful. I shouldn't have said it. It was bad. It wasn't something that she meant. It was just sorry but not sorry situation. She wasn't sorry. She really wasn't sorry.
So, like, instinctively to insult her, like, not instinctively, but like just reactionary wise, like the opposite. I was trying to come up with her name, not thinking of her skin color or anything like that. So the opposite of gold as a mineral.
Yeah, and she was trying to find a way to do backflips and somersaults her way out of the situation that she created for herself because of the words that she chose to come out of her mouth. And it just sounded lame. And there was another moment, not Charlie Gold, where she referred to a man's children as little black B word. That came out of her mouth too. So she's not a racist. So we're going to have at least 2 instances where she was making racist remarks. But she's not a racist.
Or whatever as a metal is coal. So I said, you're a coal. And then after I realized that, I made an apology video. I do mukbangs and I was eating KFC. But I didn't think that was a racist thing. Like, you're allowed to eat fried chicken.
Yeah, Kiwi Kitten says you made an apology video and then you took back the apology. So if somebody takes back the apology, then they're really not sorry.
You know,
they might just be scared that if they make a racist remark and it gets back to YouTube, they're going to lose their monetization. So you're really not sorry. You're just trying to avoid the consequences once again for what you did.
So it's just like so stupid, but whatever. Many years ago. I don't care, Fupa. I don't care. Let her clip it. Let her talk about it. Let people talk. They're going to talk anyway. I don't care. They knew exactly what I meant. Exactly. That's
No, we didn't know what you mean.
What the thing is. They knew exactly what I meant, but they have to find reasons to justify their hate campaign and harassment campaign with their reactions, with their online shit. So they find anything that they can turn into why they should demonize me. That's exactly how they.
We don't have to demonize you. Girl, you do the work all by yourself. We did not make you into anything. You made yourself into that. You blew it all up. We can't make you into anything. You decided to put what you were on display, on video, on live stream, and show it off to the world. You did it proudly too. You wanted to be the bad guy, you are the bad guy. You wanted the negative attention, you got the negative attention. You wanted people to not like you so you could get into your chat and get those hate super chats, you got them. You made so much money during Crack It Olympics getting those hate super chats. I watched you get hundreds of dollars a night in hate super chats until people figured out, hey, this bitch is poking us on purpose. She wants our hate money. Maybe not give it to her. And they stopped. You stopped getting that hate money. And I'm glad for that people woke all the way up about that. The fact that it doesn't make sense to give money to somebody you don't like. But for a while you were getting it. You were poking at people to get that hate money, and you got a lot of it. You got thousands of dollars in hate money. Now hate isn't as profitable anymore, is it? Because you're not on YouTube.
They are. That's their game. It's not racist. Yeah. But whatever. I apologized and whatever, you know.
I don't do hateful behavior, she says. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me just a second. We're going to go over this again. Because if there's one thing that you cannot run from, it's yourself. There's one thing you can't run from, it's you. You can't run from you. You can never run from you. You're not a hateful person. You're not a racist, Chantal. Really? This isn't hateful?
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
I dare you to defend that. I dare you. How are you going to explain your way out of that one? Thank you, Florida Salt and Sass, by the way, for posting that. That's just one clip. I dare you to explain your way out of that. Are you going to say that was a mistake, that you were high? Did somebody force you to do that? Explain your way out of that.
You know, I'm always eating KFC.
So we're doing the whataboutisms. Oh, somebody said this, so it justifies me doing that. We're doing the straw argument. What about this person? What about that person? What about this? No, focus on what you do. You don't want to focus on what you do because you know what you did was hateful. What you said was hateful. You're trying to deflect onto somebody else versus focusing on yourself because you know you did wrong.
See, right, Gal Charlotte? Finding racism in coal is more racist than using coal. That's digging. Yeah. Anyways, I mean, potatoes. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh. I mean, if I was a white supremacist, you know, or racist, I would be sticking with a friggin' white person. I've always dated outside of my culture because I love other cultures. I appreciate other cultures. I'm attracted to.
Oh, here we go. Here's the defense. Oh, I had a boyfriend who was black. She's about to do that. I had a boyfriend or a fiance that was black. So therefore, I cannot be racist. No. Now, we remember the comment that you made about the gentleman with the children, and you were high that night. You said little black B word to describe the children. Little black B word. Remember that coming out of your mouth.
Other cultures, you know, like I was with BB. You can say, well, yeah, so what? Just because you're with someone doesn't mean you're not racist. You can still say racist things, but why would I want to be with somebody intimately for 7 years if I can't stand their race? Like, it's so weird. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course. I've been with many black guys. I was with one for 7 years.
And this comment from Candy D saying her whole chat saying Charlie didn't deserve an apology and is not racist. Well, this, again, like you are what you hang with. Birds of a feather flock together. She's hateful. They're going to be hateful. That's what she's attracting. Hateful people. Racist people.
Yeah. I don't know. So stupid. It was all stupid. And this false outrage, they perpetuate it. They blow it up. It causes more people to outrage, and it just causes more and more and more and more. And like, that's what they do. That's how they make money. That's what they do. You know? You've never ever heard me say the N-word or anything like that. The whole was it goblin was supposed to be something against Jewish people. Yeah. Like, who knew that? Like, exactly. And then you were told about it and you still used it. Yeah, because I'm using it. Context matters. I'm using it to describe her as a mythical creature. My body count is not your business, Yazzie. So basically, like, you know, like, there's honestly an entire popular series of children's books about goblins.
Oh God, she's trying to defend her comment about FFG when she called FFG a goblin. Now she's saying it's a mythical creature, but that's not how. Sometimes it's not what you say but how you say it that matters. You were not saying it in a loving way, in a warm way, in a praising way. You were using it as an insult. Sometimes it's not just the word, it's the intention. And you had hateful intention. So you were not saying it for the purpose of praising or loving or to be cute or to joke around. You were saying it in a hateful way, bitch. Intention matters. And you never have good intention when it comes to reactors. Never.
So are you saying that they're trying to condition children to be anti-Semitic in that sense? It just takes a little bit of reasoning to figure out that you don't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? You've missed out on so much, Mike. I don't have disdain and disrespect towards the trans community. See ya. I never did. Never. They say you fetishize. Right, right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to make a very strong statement. This is just my opinion. And this opinion is based on Chantal, the things that she said, the things that she's done, the way she's behaved. Strictly my opinion only. I think that Chantal fetishizes men from other cultures. Maybe it's part of her optic aesthetic, where she's attracted to men in other cultures, and that's perfectly fine. If she finds men who look a certain way to be attractive to her versus other men who don't look attractive to her. But in my opinion, I think she fancies herself as a privileged white Canadian woman. And she goes for men in other cultures. Maybe part of the reason is because she finds them attractive, which there's nothing wrong with that. But also she might be seeking out and has sought out men from other cultures because she feels that he has more privilege. And also she's looking to gain power over that man. She's looking for a man, not just of another culture or in another country because she's attracted to them, but because she is looking for a man that she can gain control of. I mean, she did make a live stream saying, "Who wants citizenship?" That was the title. Who wants citizenship? Looking for a man who may want citizenship or may be hurting for money to gain power over that man, using the income that she makes off of social media so that she can have a companion. She's looking towards men in other cultures and other countries in order to basically force a partnership with that man. That's my opinion. Like, her intentions are not 100% pure. She's in Canada. I'm sure there are plenty of men in Canada that she could date or know or hang out with. Why not reach for a man in Canada? Canada is a big place. There's lots of people. Why avoid Canada for companionship? Because the men in Canada don't need citizenship. And if she tried the crap with them that she tries with other people in other countries, It wouldn't work. She is a predator looking for prey. And she thinks that she's at the top of the food chain as a white, privileged Canadian woman. That she has more rights and more power than most. And she's going to take that way of thinking and try to use it to control and hurt other people.
Yeah. By the way, I've never sought out the men that I've been with.
Yes, you did. Making profiles, you looking for men. They didn't come to your house. You didn't meet them at a club. So what do you mean I didn't seek out those men? What do you mean?
For example, I never was seeking an African man when I met BB. It just happened that way. That I fell in love with an African. I never sought out a Syrian man, you know?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. As far as seeking out a Syrian man, you were looking for a Natter replacement. You couldn't have Natter. You've always wanted Natter. You wanted a Natter 3.0. You were looking for a specific type of man. You weren't looking for the right man. You were looking for a specific type of man. You wanted a Middle Eastern man because Natter is Middle Eastern. You wanted almost a carbon copy of him. You wanted someone you can control, someone that might be hungry for money. You were looking for specific things. You were looking for specific boxes to be ticked off. Again, if you were looking for a man, why not look in Canada? Because you couldn't pull that power play with people in Canada already.
Like, if I was fetishizing, that's how stupid. And people listen to this. They're all not brilliant like them, that the people that they listen to, you know? For example, like
Mrs. Peel says you hunt men. Correct. She hunts for men. Why? Because men aren't hunting for her. They don't want her. She's not a woman that a man would look for, be with. She's got to hunt men down.
to fetishize something, like you would be seeking out just that for sexual gratification alone.
Wrong. A fetish could be anything. Your fetish is you are desperately looking for someone to claim you. You want that to be an achievement. I want a man to claim me. I want to be married. You're under this impression that in order for you as a woman to have worth, you have to be in a relationship. Somebody's got to put a ring on it. And since there's no man out there signing up on for that, that you're going to force a partnership. You're going to, pull up a contract versus a relationship. Because you're not relationship material. You never will be. You're not willing to work on yourself and work on your issues. So the best you can do is to lure a man into your golden sticky web of lies and addiction and wrap him up in silk and suck him dry.
Not have an entire relationship and, we shouldn't see color. Exactly. Right, Kelly. Ghosts and goblins. Exactly. Mythical creatures.
Doobs McBoob says she seeks out Middle Eastern men specifically now. She had a whole live stream how it's just her type. Yep. And again, there's nothing wrong with finding Middle Eastern men or women attractive. There's a lot of beautiful people in the Middle East. Absolutely gorgeous. It's just that, again, intention matters. Her intentions are not pure. Not pure at all.
I never mentioned race. Right, Nina? I don't. I see the person. If it happened, I'm totally open. Any race. If I was alone and traveled to Japan, met some, it just depends. I don't know. Oh. Yeah. I don't have a preference, really.
Armbrand says she thought she could manipulate foreign men easier. Yeah. Through money. If there's men in the Middle East, they may not have a good grasp on the English language. If she found someone that did not have a good grasp on the English language, or perhaps someone that isn't aware of food addiction, she could easily lie to that person and go, "Oh, I'm just eating food on camera. It's no big deal." They wouldn't know anything about food addiction. And she can lie to them about her problem. She wants a relationship, and yet she's not going to find a partner she can talk to. If you have a partner and you got a food addiction, I would think you'd want them to know. But she doesn't want them to know. She just wants to fool people and lie to people. And you're expecting a relationship out of that, Foodie?
She lives under the bridge. Let's look at your dating history. Pete's, BB, Salah. Yeah, none of them are remotely similar, exactly. Whatsoever. Should only be crayons.
Kiwi Kitten says you went on global Tinder and matched with Middle Eastern men.
The ones calling you racist have never been to a country where the majority of people don't look like them. Right. A lot of them haven't. Yeah. 6 minutes too. Okay, I'm gonna go get my food ready and use the washroom.
Okay, what else we got here?
Water with ice.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to cut it off here since I think she's about to eat, and I don't want to watch her food content. Sorry, y'all. I'm avoiding that because once she starts eating and she's chomping at the bit and, jaw clicking, I can't do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. And don't forget to visit Orange Cat's channel. I'll leave the link down below in the description. Y'all have a good day and have a good one. Bye.